Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is something we don't do every day, but you know what? It's been a while. Sitting there talking to Cab in the Hangouts and thought, you know what? Let's go and enjoy it with an audience. What do you say, Cab?
Exactly. I totally agree with that.
This is your first time ever being with us on my channel. I've been with lots on yours, so I feel like I owe you a
Yeah,
bit.
I was introduced to you for the first time, I think about 3 days ago, so and we've become fast friends in that time. So, yeah, that's awesome, man.
It was the best $10 super chat I ever spent.
I know. Oh, I told you to keep that a secret.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Man,
How you
well,
doing?
a lot of good people out in here, man.
Mm,
Gil Skills, I see him out there. Look at him. All
yes.
right.
We got Orange Jelly. We got Mike Detris. I hope I pronounced it right. Prankster Lock. We got Phil Dogs Vlogs. Larry Johnson. Prankster Lock, I believe I said already. If not, welcome once again. Patricia Sprinkles. Larry Johnson. Oh my God, we got lots of people here. Animal Flasco. If I'm missing anybody, I do apologize. Leonard Shea is in here.
Oh, yeah.
Jay records TV. Tons of channels. Culinary Cookhouse is in here. Avis Gaming Channel, welcome. Jeremy Frayer, Pretty Apple, Fluffy Christine, excuse me, 7 is enough. Gamer X6500, Ms. Rido Riding, love having you here. Lots of nines, cat audio. A lot of channels from yours as well. You know a lot of these people, so
I was just gonna say, I know about 5 people out in your chat right now.
well, definitely. If there's anybody who hasn't checked out Cab, that's first thing on the list. Cab, please say hi.
Hi.
You know you're on. Tam Bear's here. Beer Belly Travelers. I was so excited you guys are back in after the summer. I was you really shocked me the other night. It was in a good way too. It's great to have you back. Dr. Fish is in here. Gene Bear 2G. Gene Bear 2G is this young gentleman. I'm going to take a rough guess. I'm thinking around maybe 13 at most. And you know our Blue Wrench selfie group photos we do?
Yep.
He managed to go on Twitter. He's a go-getter and got Paul Brown from Auction Kings, the host, to do a selfie for us.
Ain't that something, man?
He's persistent. And then he was getting him to come on our show. We told him we're going to just take him a little break, not scare him off too much. But what he did was absolutely phenomenal.
That is so cool. Hey, you know what? I just tweeted this out, and for any of you people out there right now, if you could do Puša Studios a favor, just go ahead and tweet this out there. Let people know that he's got a live stream going on right now.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is just nice. Like I say, we talk a lot in the chats. We're
Oh,
on
yeah.
your show a lot, and it's just nice to have you here. I'm over. Oh, you're watching Model Trains, John. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you in here. Let's get you a wrench while you're here. Welcome. I hope you enjoy what you're doing, and give lots of love to Toy Man. He is awesome. He's going to be a guest not too long from now on here.
Nice.
Meg's Blogs. How are you, sweetie?
Hey, Megs. I see some people out there that I recognize. Tam Bear, good to see you. And Phil Dogs, always good to see you. Gil Skills, welcome. And Maybella, hey, how you doing?
Oh, let's get here. Let's get ourselves a moderator for Maybella. Welcome. Heavy Metal Magnet. Hey, guys, I'm at the cancer treatment hospital with my dad. We're in a special apartment for about 14 days while he's treated. Not cool watching your family get kicked by cancer.
No, definitely not. That's a potent one there.
Maybe you could say a couple of
Now,
words.
I was just gonna say now, you said they're having, treatment. Does this mean that there's a possibility of, getting rid of that cancer? Or, I mean, what stage are we talking about? I mean, um,
That's
I
not
don't know anything about this, but when it
no.
comes to stuff like that, we all take that serious, and that's always the scariest word out there, that big C word.
It is.
Megan's blog, hi oh, look at the 3 hearts. Love you.
I
Love
know, eh? She is such a sweetie. Oh,
Oh.
you know, it's amazing how lucky you are to be surrounded by so many good people on YouTube.
I say it all the time, man. I love going into people's streams, especially when I know just about every single one of them. It's like we all kinda hang out with each other in all the same live streams,
Yeah.
and it's all so many good people with big hearts. You don't when you it's kinda like passing that friend down the street in your own neighborhood. "Hey, how you been doing?"
100%.
A simple wave and a hello.
They become such an integral part of your life.
Yeah, That's
And
right.
people don't get it that aren't in YouTube. You try to explain it to them and they just don't get it, the connection that you have. They want to, and they're not mocking you for it. It's just they don't quite get how it's possible, I think.
That's right.
Budget
Well,
outdoors and survival.
you got to leave yourself open for that opportunity of friendship and, being kind and peaceful to one another. But a lot of people that they just don't like that kind of stuff. So I don't
Most
know.
definitely. Most definitely. Oh, Mama Rock is in here. How are you? Banging cat cab 7, she says.
Oh, hey, mate. Yeah, because Mama Rock and me have that commonality. We're both veterans. We both served,
Mm.
and we've talked about that.
Actually, we're going to talk about that for a few minutes. I don't
Oh,
want to put her on the spot. It's nice to see you, Mama Rock. I was wondering if you wanted to, if you'd like, if there's we can send you the link if you'd like to come up. We're actually be talking about it for a few minutes because tomorrow here in Canada, most of the Commonwealth countries is Remembrance Day, and that's where we remember all fallen troops, past wars, and I mean we celebrate Monday, of course, but tomorrow is the actual day.
that's right.
So yeah, if you'd like, you're welcome. I think it's something that I believe heavily should never, ever, ever be forgotten, ever.
I totally agree. When I've done several videos out at the cemetery down here. We got a veteran cemetery not too far from where I live. And I usually don't go out during that particular holiday because it's too busy.
Mhm.
So I'll go a couple days before, a couple days after, and do my own video out there. And I've always said that, Veterans Day and Memorial Day and Remembrance Day, that's one day of the year. But the people that have lost their loved ones due to war, being in the military and serving, it's something that they remember every day. It's not just that one day.
Right.
The family that celebrates Memorial Day or Veterans Day, it's not just one day. It's every day of their life.
It's it's not something that will ever be forgotten. I don't think there's any way, even if you wanted to, you could forget.
No, you
Or
can't.
you live with it. It's part of your life, I'm assuming.
That's right. And for those troops that serve on the front lines that see everything, all that action, and it's just something that you can't get out of your mind. It's embedded until the day you die. It's just that what you saw over there. I wasn't on the front lines. I was a cook in the military. Like, a lot of people know this, and I didn't get to see that, but I can imagine, how that would affect me. My backyard neighbor, he served 4 tours over in Afghanistan. The guy's only 31, but now he's got to live with his mom because he's so messed up after everything that he saw. He actually has a service dog that helps him out, but before he left, he was just your average guy.
Yeah,
Just an average guy, not going anywhere in life. He decided to join the military, serve his country, and he'd come back. I don't know if I can use foul language. Is this no?
go ahead.
I was gonna say he came back fucked up. That's the best way I can say it. So when I see him every day, we came together at the fence in my backyard, and I said, "Listen, man, anytime that you need to talk, if you need to talk to another veteran, I'm right here." So
I think that's the greatest gift you can give any veteran is the chance to talk because there's so much going on inside. And even if they would, and I'm just telling you, I'm not saying like I know, but I think anybody just wants the chance, even if they don't want to talk about what happened, just a chance to talk. Sometimes they need just the
right,
escape or to know that somebody's listening.
right.
I just want to bring up Heavy Metal Magnet off subject for some, but we did ask him. He says the treatment would extend his life for up to 5 years plus. He's got multiple melanoma. They're taking his T cells out and treating the shit out of them and putting them back in. I
Well, I look at it this way. I don't want it extended 5 years. I want it extended for the next 30, 40, 50 years.
This will give him enough time until a new treatment comes out that's going to knock the shit out of him
Exactly.
once for all.
Exactly. To kick that cancer's ass.
100%. Because that is not something I would wish on anybody, my worst enemy. Everybody deserves the right to live a long, full life. So we're praying for my friend and sending you all the best vibes. So hang
Right.
in there and just you're in the right place. You're with him. You're doing the best thing you can for him. So guys, Xenia's not here. I'm not as good on the chat. So I'm sure you guys are used to it by now. No, I love you guys. Anything for me or for our good friend here, Cab, please just highlight it. Oh my God, we're getting lots of people in here. Michael, again, how are you? I love how you get to build a community that you can do this, just like without any plans and just come on and have all these amazing people come together. It's heartwarming.
Well, I look at it this way: the people that come and follow our live streams and come and watch our videos if they get that chance, those are the people that are certainly dedicated. They enjoy us for us, just us being ourselves.
That's
That's
right.
why they keep coming back.
Most definitely. And it's heartwarming. I mean, what a great feeling. Um, it's almost therapeutical sometimes. I think, I feel sometimes when I had a bad day, it's nice to come on and have this. Tara Cope says, my grandpa served in the army and my kid's grandpa was cook as well in the army. Sadly, he passed away at 98 years, and my kid's other grandpa served as well. He was a Marine. Wow.
Wow.
That is
I want to say hello to Jenny O'Brien, and I'm going to send that link to Janice.
Yep.
Okay, I'll send her the link here.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
It's good to have each and every one of you guys. We're talking a little bit about for Canada, most of the Commonwealth countries, it will be Remembrance Day. I feel bad I don't have my poppy with me. I think it's on my jacket. We wear poppies here to symbolize from the
Right.
Parliamentary Fields.
Yep, that's
And
right.
it's that was something that came up here recently under attack the last couple of years. Veterans who sell them, and you know what kind of great profit you get on anything that's by donation only.
Yeah.
We're starting to get pushed out of stores and stuff like that. And I mean, thank God the media and the general public come to the rescue, but they shouldn't have to. That makes me sick to my stomach that stuff even happens this day and age.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Taking advantage of. Let's see.
Yep. They almost make it sound like they're like in the way by in there with their little table selling poppies, and it's just shows you what kind of world we live into. Oh yeah, the people we got here, we got Drone Man Productions, we got Delphine and the Divine Aquarium. Nice to see you here. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. I know I love you. So Mina Dior is in here, drawings for you. Pam M is in here. Rochelle Nikita is in here. Guys, tonight this was kind of an impromptu hangout panel. It's gonna be fun. It's great to just sit down and chat sometimes and all those great things. But tomorrow night we'll be back. We are going to have the wheel. That's right, the Wheel of Shoutouts. Hi, y'all. From Talladega, Alabama, USA, Doug Sweener, welcome. Anybody who hasn't checked us out before, I'm so happy to have each and one of you here. We all have blue wrenches. That's to symbolize we are one community. We are all equals, a co-op, if you will. And I hope you'll be intrigued enough to press the subscribe button. We have guests on. We have channel shoutout nights, Tech Talk Tuesday. We discuss everything YouTube for 3 hours. It's just a big think tank, and that's one of my favorite days of the week, just working with you guys. Bouncer Slab is in here. Forest Food, Permaculture. Heavy Metal Magnet. You see Heavy Metal Magnet going through all that, and he gives $2 for the good vibes from Cab and Andrew.
Nice. Very nice.
You're with the right place with your dad, man, and we're all just sending every bit of vibes to you we possibly can get. Guys, please, if you haven't hit up Heavy Metal Magnet, just show them some love. You can use some emojis. Anything makes somebody feel good when they're going through a tough time. Little things can go a long way.
That's exactly right.
So you're able to get the link off to her?
I got the link off to her.
Perfect.
Yep. And matter of fact, there she is.
Hey. Oh. Hi, how are you? Oh. I think she's getting set up with the volume.
Yeah, she's getting set up.
No problem. That's great. It's always nice to have somebody else on with some experience. It's nice that you guys have a story together like that. So it's a common brotherhood, like you say, sisterhood.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Your dad was in the Air Force, right?
My dad was in for 20 years from 1955 to 1975.
Uh-oh.
And oh, now I hear you, Janice.
I'm here. Sorry,
Welcome.
guys.
Not a problem. It's nice to have you.
I gotta shut off some of these windows.
I want to say hello to Atlantis Paranormal, Bouncer Slab, and Gene Bear 2G. Good to see y'all.
Boy, I always come in with a bang.
I love you. Juliet Miranda, who got us about the biggest interview we ever had on here. I'll always shout you out and I'll always say thank you for that. It's great to have you here.
I'm wondering why. Is my camera showing me? No.
Um,
Oh, that's nice, Phil Dogs Vlogs. I like that.
nope. Actually, it looks like I'm looking at I don't know what I'm looking at. It's just kind of like a gray.
It's like your camera shut off.
Yeah. It's like, what the heck?
Janice, you might have to leave and then come back in.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably.
there you are.
Yep, we got you.
Welcome.
What, you got me? I
Yeah,
don't.
we can see you.
You're live, visual and audio.
Oh, geez, look at that.
Don't touch any buttons, Janice. Don't touch a damn button. You're okay, just the way you are.
I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for coming up. I really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Well, that's my pleasure. Like I say, tomorrow is Remembrance Day. We didn't really have a theme coming on. I just thought the cab, we said we'll talk about that for a little while, and then he mentioned about you, so I'm glad to have you up here.
It's always nice to be up in this community with all of y'all. I've been missing for a while, so it's kind of great to pop in and end up right here.
Well,
exactly.
Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience with the
Air Force? It was fun. It was when I was it was in between Vietnam and the Gulf War, so it really wasn't wartime. And I went through a lot of school, which I love. I love that. And then some of my jobs were kind of intense. I started out in field administration, and somehow I ended up in air medvac. It's like a big jump. Boom.
Wow.
And it was, and the thing was, guys, I was so afraid of airplanes. Why would you join the Air Force if you hate planes?
I love that. I love that.
It was scary, but I didn't want to go into the Navy, and I definitely didn't want to go into the Marine Corps. And the Army, I wasn't sure of. So I just, picked what I picked, and it was a good choice. It really was. It was a time in my life where things were good and traveling around was awesome. Some of the things you see and some of the stuff that they train you for is really intense. I hated basic training. How'd you feel in basic training, Ben?
Patty, over your lens. We got something. Is there something hanging over your lens? We can see like half of you. It was there. We go.
I don't know what this is. If maybe a piece of something.
I'm sorry. I said Pat because I got Patty on my mind for the super chat. I'm sorry, I apologize. Patty, I can't stay. I really need to go practice tonight, but did want to say hi, hit the thumbs up, and show some support. And to those who have served, thank you. You guys have fun.
Oh,
that was very sweet, Patty.
Thank you, Patty. That was very nice.
Very. Yeah, so sorry about that, Janice. Didn't mean to call you Patty. As you can see, this is why you should do it with Xenia. I'm not good at multitasking, so.
No, when I went into basic training, I was scared shitless because I didn't know what I was up against. I thought it was gonna be rainbows and sunflowers, And when they're getting up in my face off that bus, it's like, holy crap, the world just changed all of a sudden.
Let me see if I can remember that speech. It was something like, I'm your brother, mother, sister, father for the next so many weeks, blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
And listen, I had flown on an airplane for 6 hours to get there. The night before, all my friends took me out and we had a tequila party.
Nice.
And I drank a fifth of tequila. And on the airplane, I didn't give a shoot where I was going. They asked me, did I want to drink? And I said, yep, I'll have me some of those little bottles of tequila and give me some lemon. By the time I got there, I was nauseous, dizzy.
Oh, no.
You get off and you think, oh, it's going to be easy. You're just going to get off and you're going to go grab your stuff and go to your room. And the next day they'll get you to do something. Yeah, right. Okay. Anybody that thinks that is crazy in the mind.
What drew you initially to it, like to want to join the Air Force? What like before you? What was the first thing that clicked that you thought maybe that would be something for you?
I wanted to get free school, and I wanted to just be able to, I had already had one child and been married, and that my marriage was a failure. And I was young, and I wanted to support that son. And so I wanted a good job. And back then, good jobs for women at home were like in a restaurant or, and not that those things are bad, but
No,
back in those years, you were making $4 an hour, 4.59, something like that. You know, it just wasn't that. And then something had happened. I can't remember what it was, but it was like one of those rushes for everybody to want to be a part of the military. I don't remember if it was. I gotta go back in my head and think. But anyway, something pulled me into the military, and I don't know if it was really I was anxious to be in the military, or if I was more, my mindset was it was a good career, something to depend on. I don't know, really. You know, it wasn't because I was trying to be a hero, I don't think.
but you are nonetheless. Once you do sign up, you are a hero. I mean, no matter what you do, in my opinion, in the post, once you make that commitment, you're already a hero.
Right. And then being young too, and you seeing all those Air Force commercials on the TV, you know, it was just like enticing. Um,
Flying high into the wild blue yonder.
and just ready to go, rock and roll, you know what I mean? I mean, I was adventurous, and it said, I think one of the advertisements was go anywhere, be anyone, um, you know, that type of thing. And so it was, you know, had I did a little more research, I would have realized you back then women did not go out into the war. You
Oh.
know, they kept them in places like as nurses and administrators. They trained me for both, you know. Um, it's just now today it's different because today they put the guns in the women's hands and they shove them out there if they want to go. But still, the jobs, if you look at the jobs for women in the military as opposed to men, they still kind of, I sugarcoat it a little bit, you know, not much more, but they're a little more cautious with the women than they are with the men.
Yeah, but things have changing, and I guess it just takes more and more time to get there and that. But
But these days, you know, with all these things going on in this world, I believe that if we went to war now, and I think they would probably call back every able man and woman, you know what I mean? Um, the older would probably be superiors now, where the younger would be just learning, you know. Um, I I would definitely step up if I'm not too old and my bones ain't decrepit. Um,
it's always in you.
yeah, it's you have to, because you take a look around at the world and you see what's going on and you think, good Lord, this could be happening here next. You never know. Um, you know, somebody could just say, hey, I don't like you guys no more. Let's just aim this little missile right over there and wipe that out. You know, we're not infallible like we think we are.
Do you?
I
Oh, go
think
ahead.
I think once that starts, that
I
first missile, that's the end.
I think we're a very strong nation, and I think we can hold our own. But I think that when it comes to it, a lot of us don't like to kill other people. You know, it's
Hmm.
just
I mean, I'm looking at the reality of it though. All these missiles. I mean, there's more than 12,000 of them between, you know, the US and Russia. All it takes is a couple. That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's done.
exactly, exactly. And with these far-reaching missiles these
Yeah.
days, and there's so many techniques of war these days. You know, we've been in cyber wars for years and years and years now with other countries and our enemies, you know, and stuff of this nature. So there's a lot of there's digital, there's so many types of war these days. It's not just aiming a missile at a country. You know, there's other ways to disarm countries or disable them.
It's the wars, if they go to the max, are going to be fought fast, brutal, and it's not going to be like anything we've ever unfortunately seen or might ever see again after, if it's fought to the extent.
You just got to think of how evil the rulers could be.
Yep.
That would drive the countries into fighting against each other. And I mean, you see it happening, you see it taking place before your very eyes. And a lot of us, I'm sure Cab 7, Ben, I'm sure you're sitting back thinking the same thing that I'm thinking when I see these things. And I see them fighting over foolishness, over what politician is right or wrong. Just face up to what's going on, team up together and say, excuse my French, but you know, F it, and do what you got to do. You know, I mean, there's too much bull crap going on in this world for people to sit back and not be worried about, you know, some people that have already been in the United States for millions of years. I'm all right now. For plenty of time. And how do you know that they haven't trained their children to walk into schools and blow them up? I mean, our country has been lucky, you know, but I mean, with all the enemies that we've gained, you never know what's next. And so these things are what anybody that's had military training behind them think about when they see these things. I don't think we look at them as, well, gee, you know, this person's doing this and this person's doing that. We're looking at it and saying, well, if somebody doesn't do the right thing pretty damn quick, we're going to be having hand-to-hand combat in the streets with people.
Janice, it's all about this. It's all about who has the biggest dick. And it just so happens that a missile's in the shape of a dick, ain't it? So that's what it's all about. Who wants control of all of it? Yeah. And you know, I'm not going to mention any country names or anything like that because, you know, then I'll start going overboard. But anyhow, that's what it's always been about. Who has the resources? We don't have them, so we're going to go to war to take them from you, whether you like it or not. And that's what it's all about. Who has the resources?
Yeah, and that's the way it's always going to be too. And when you see somebody writing, you know, there's just so much shit.
Yep.
Lulu, love you. Excuse me. Could you please post Janice link for me? Could you say hi, Janice, in the chat?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Drone Man Productions. Ooh. I was gonna get Drone Man up. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think other way than Twitter to get a hold of you. I'm not sure which is the best way then. Not email, I guess.
Animal. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
No, I was
enjoying this. I'm enjoying you guys' talk. This is what I love listening to. I'm enjoying it immensely.
So it was fun after basic, right, Cab?
Yeah, my world changed again when I went from you know, San Antonio to Denver, Colorado to do my tech school. It's like, wow, it's not all that tough getting up in your face anymore. It was a lot more lax.
Right, yeah, you kind of train yourself to get up in the morning and go to work.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I remember.
You know, Janice, it just seems like yesterday, you know, when I was
It's like, oh shit, I think I'll call in 6 today. Sick. No, you won't.
Yeah, right. Right. I don't think so.
Ben, do you want to talk about your experience getting into it?
Yeah, mine was my dad, you know, served for 20 years, and his last base was stateside at Malmstrom Air Force Base as a cook. And it just, my dad retired in 75. So 12 years later, I joined the Air Force. He was in the Air Force, so I joined it. And I wanted to because I felt like I had to do something for my country. And it made my dad so proud. Not that I was really looking for that from him, but it did. It made him so proud when I came home. And I told my dad, I said, well, I got a job. He said, huh? What are you going to be doing? I said, I joined the Air Force, Dad. And the look on his face was like, wow, really? I said, yeah. And so when I went down to basic training and I got done with basic training and then tech school, they handed us what base we're going to go to next to serve, okay, our first tour. And it just so happened that my tour was at Malmstrom Air Force Base, the same base that my dad retired at. And guess what? I did the exact same job that my dad did, a cook in the military. My dad did it for 20 years. So I served meals in the chow hall that my dad did. I served out the missile sites that my dad served at. What are the
Cool.
chances of that, man?
That's cool. That
Yeah.
was really cool. I ended up at Westover in Chicopee,
Okay. Yeah.
which was it's a it's a military transport base, and it's when you go back there, you don't know what your job is going to be. You know what I mean? It just depends from whatever's going on is where you end up stationed. And I ended up in a medical hall over there, and I ended up as soon as I could get out, I ended up going into nursing. You know, I was like, let me get out of this now. And of course, I was going to have another kid too. And so it was time for me to get on with my life in a new direction. And so I went into nursing, but so many things that I learned through them have stayed with me through the years. I think had I not had the education that I had through them, that I wouldn't still know today those things, you know, and I wouldn't have the respect that I do for a soldier today, you know, because if you didn't serve, you have respect for your soldiers. But when you serve, there's this pride that you carry inside when you walk by uh, uh, from a basic airman to the general at the top. You know what I mean? It's like you walk by and your chest is up in the air and you're like, yes, sir. You know what I mean? Whether you're in uniform or not, you make that step, you do that little twist, and that's the deal. And I think that's the pride of it all. Yeah, that's what it is with me.
You know, when I wear my hat, I don't know if anyone notices this, but when I got out, this is the rank that I made. That's 3 stripes, and that's a senior airman. They no longer have that rank. Buck Sergeant took over that rank. But in my 4 years, I went from 0 stripes, went through basic tech, and then I got out with 3 stripes as a senior airman. So I wear both of those from my uniform on my head.
Mhm.
My dad, I think, has mine in a drawer, and in fact, he was the one that pulled out some of my pictures for me because
Wow.
I was so careless with stuff, and I was always moving from place to place to place to place to place. And I don't know about you, but you lose stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And so I would always send a box home of something to my father. And I cannot believe now he will not give me any of it back until he's gone. And he told me, he said, I have your box. Don't worry. You'll get it. And I was like, what's in it? I'd just like to know what the heck's in it. I haven't, I haven't gandered into that box in forever. And he said, oh, just like your diploma and a couple of certificates and a couple of awards and some things you wrote, and maybe
Wow.
a couple of medals. And so I know he's got everything in there from
Janice,
you name
I'm
it to you name it.
Janice, I'm gonna freak you out. I'll be back in just a second.
Okay.
You never know what Ben's coming with, so it's always usually good surprises. So how long did you serve, Janice?
I was there for 4 active, and then I did 2 years as a reserve.
Mm,
Well, it was because I was pregnant now and I was married, and you after you get out of their little grafts, you kind of go on with life. It's just like
yeah.
you still have life. If something, and being a reserve was fun because they would send me off to a place for 3 weeks out of the year, all paid for. And I mean, it was training and tactical crap, but you know, it didn't last all day long. And then you could go and do whatever you wanted to do afterwards. So it was fun.
No, you didn't serve in wartime, as you said.
No, I
Do you
didn't.
think that made it easier for you when you walked out? Like you feel like you actually dodged a bullet to make it easier to transition back into civilian life?
No, I actually didn't, because there were a couple chances in there where we almost did go to war. The government had shut down. There was a bunch of shit taking place. And I was willing. I wanted to be up there in the front fighting with them suckers, because
Yeah.
I was kind of crazy. You know, I was a wild person. And I'm not afraid of anything still to this day. And it's just like, yeah, okay, go ahead. Hey, you know, I'm little, but I feel mighty, you know.
I
And
love that.
and so I felt disappointed in myself that I didn't get the opportunity, because I had had that kid in there called Lou Rock, and he was very young, and I had the opportunity to re-enlist, but I decided not to because I wanted to raise my son, you know.
Oh,
And if I didn't, I wouldn't have been able to raise them. Somebody else would have had to, and maybe we wouldn't have the kind of crazy mom kid relationship that we have today, you
I
know.
love that.
So regretting some things and gaining other things, you know. If I'd had made the choice today, I would have stayed in until I could have retired. I would have dragged my kid with me wherever I went. I would have done what I had to do, because it was in me to do it. It was
Right.
that, like I said, I got caught in life. You know, I was like all of a sudden in love, getting married, having a kid, doing this, doing that, working like what seemed like a normal job, because I didn't have to live on base anymore. I could just go where I wanted to go and go home at night and do my thing during the day, whatever it was.
Mm.
And everything was kind of even keel. Now, had it been wartime, it would have been different. I probably would have been stationed away from home, and I probably would have not been on the front line, because I don't think they would have put women on the front line back then. But I would have been where they needed me to be. I would have probably flown into war zones in the medvac unit, definitely, because
Wow.
I was trained for that.
Let me show you something, Janice.
Yes.
I am a pack rat, and I do keep everything from my past.
I bet.
So I don my hat.
I have those. I have to dig them out.
There's my uniform from when I was in.
Oh, wow.
That's my
Uh,
uniform.
My God, that is awesome. That
There
is
I am.
freaking awesome.
There's my name, Airman Avery.
Oh, that
There
is.
you go.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I love it. Look at it. Just pressed like the day he took it out.
I have to dig mine out, because us women didn't get hats like that. We got these freaking stupid beanie looking things. Do you remember those, Cav 7?
I do. I do.
They were insulting. It was like, what the hell is this thing? They
This is
got a poof and then a pin that sticks out in the top of it. And I was like, this is our hats? Why don't we get one of those? That's not fair. I even liked the training instructor's hats. I would have liked one of those. Those suckers were awesome. But, you know, I didn't have one of those.
it was a bit more like a stewardess hat than a service hat. And
No, it was more like you would see some French model wearing.
yeah.
From
Well,
you know, I mean, geez, come on. It had a poof to it, and I hated it, and they wanted it to be rock freaking hard.
Oh my God.
It
this
was,
is a hat that I was embarrassed to wear, and I'm not going to say the name of it, but when I was in the military, it starts with a C, and it's a it's a very nasty word that women don't like, but that's what we called it in the military. Do you remember this hat?
oh my God, yuck.
Yep. Yep. I didn't like to wear them.
Nobody liked those ugly suckers. Not no one, not anyone. I don't think I knew anyone that liked. I hated wearing the dress blues. If I had my way, I would have worn khakis all the time. You wouldn't catch me in nothing else. They were comfortable. After you wore them in, when you first got them, they were the ones you get in basic training are like wearing cardboard boxes, and they make you itch. And
Oh God.
oh my God, you have to keep them starched and all this crap. So it's like wearing a pair of cardboard boxes. And but once you get out of there and you can have your own creases put in and make them use softener on the damn things, you know, it's just like, yeah, okay, I can live in these suckers forever. But our dress blues, of course, was the skirt, not the pants.
That's right.
The skirt that went down past your freaking knees almost to your ankles, but not quite at the ankles. So you look like stumps when you were walking around.
That's right. Let's talk about Leave It to Beaver.
And of course, you had to wear core frames, which just definitely didn't go with the outfit at all. And then these jackets were just like, I snuck off and had mine altered. I didn't care. There was no way I was wearing a sack. And I got in a little bit of trouble for that, but not much. There was nothing they could do once I had them altered. They tried to make me pay for a whole new bunch of them, but I refused. And, you know, I took a couple of days in the brig for that, like 3.
Whoa.
I did. I took 15 days I got pissed off. I got pissed off one time and I refused to go to work for 2 days.
Wow.
And I was mad as hell, though. I was mad. I was like, I guess thinking that I could do whatever the hell I want my whole life. I learned quick, Brent, because freaking 15 days was freaking hell. It wasn't like, you know, they're nice to you while you're in there. It's like you're a piece of shit and that's it. And what really got me pissed was I had more stripes than most of them suckers in that office. They were still treating me like I was a cow, you know. Like, excuse me, I'm out of here in 14 hours. You better watch your step. But I did go back and be a nice girl after that and realize that I wouldn't get anywhere with that attitude. But it was fun. It was definitely fun. I got caught with a 6-pack in my security drawer, Ben.
What the hell? Girl, you're wild. Damn.
Had a red line inspection, no less.
Holy
crap. I was like, surprise. Oh my God, it's that guy there with the cheese hat.
Oh my God.
Janice. It's that Janice lady.
Greenbay, hey, what's up?
Mama Rock.
We have Greenbay Wacky on. He served in the Great Cheese Crisis of 1987. We want to thank him for it. When Smith tried to take over, he wouldn't hear tell of it. So,
Cab sporting the full veteran. Congrats.
I'm right. Yep.
He just had on his whole dress blues for crying out loud.
What?
Yep.
I thought they didn't fit you anymore.
They don't fit me. No, I wasn't wearing them. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're showing them?
Yeah, I can't fit into
that. I don't think I can fit in mine anymore either.
I've gained a few pounds since then.
I'm not used to panels anymore. I keep thinking I'm either up on Dave's or Ben's channel.
You are up on Dave.
Wait a minute. Janice said couldn't fit into hers. You're not a veteran too, are you, Janice?
Yeah.
Oh, not me.
Oh, okay. You were just talking about clothes in general.
Hey, wake the hell up. Yeah, she is.
Hey, Janice.
Force, just like I did.
Mama Rock is a veteran?
Yes.
In all the time we've been friends, I didn't know that.
That's because, you know what? I don't know why, but nobody had ever asked me. And I'm one of those people, I just don't volunteer. But one night I was going through some boxes and I found some old pictures and I found my Air Force Base training pictures. And I was like, oh my God. And I had nobody to share it with. So I got a hold of Ben. And
I remember that.
I sent him to Ben and I said, look at what I just found. And he was like, oh my God, I wasn't there. And he sent me his. And we were like,
so Mama Rock, you were in the Air Force?
Yes, I was.
Wow. I'm excited.
I was a crazy Air Force girl. I definitely was.
That's all right. We don't need to hear about sexual escapades. But
No, it had nothing to do with that at all. I just raised a lot of Canes. You know, I was a hellraiser. That's all.
wow. I love YouTube because one little thing that you didn't know, and now I'm all excited. Now I can, when Mama Rock comes in, I can say, Mama Rock, she's a veteran.
Right.
And you know, it just, I don't feel like a veteran though, because I didn't serve in a war.
That doesn't matter.
You still
I-
prepared for it. You
I-
trained like everybody else. You'd
Listen,
still
I understand that, but you know what, Dan, when you're in the service and you know the difference between being there during civil time and being there during wartime, you have like this extra respect for the veteran that you think is a veteran. You know what I mean?
You know, don't. I
And
get what you're
not
saying.
away from me and others just like me, but I'm sure that every girl that I served with feels the same way. Yes, we are proud. We were there. We stood up. But there's those that were there, stood up, and had to fight a battle.
And maybe so, but you know what? Don't take away any veteran, any service. You didn't know what you were signing up for. They could have whisked you away at any minute. Believe me.
That is true. That is true. It
Yeah,
is.
absolutely.
You
Don't.
were ready. Like anybody else on there. You served your time. You did the training. Your heart was into it. You were fully dedicated.
I got a bunch of free school. You know,
Can I ask how long you were in? Just curious.
I was there for 4 active and 2. It's not inactive, but I went into a reserve status.
Wow. So like 6 years. Wow.
Yeah. It was cool. It was awesome.
Did
I had fun. I had more fun as a reserve though.
can I ask you a question? Did you fly an F-16 with Tom Cruise?
No, I wish.
Oh, okay. Just you know.
And I think I would like more like what was his name there? The guy Robert Conrad, you know.
Oh, Baba Black Sheep.
I'd rather fly with him. And he's
Yeah.
more my age bracket, you know.
Wow, that is so cool. Wow. Just wow. I love YouTube. That's so cool.
It is when you learn new stuff. But Cab, you understand what I was saying, right?
About what?
About how you served during a wartime.
I sure no. When I got out, the Gulf War was just starting to build up. I volunteered for it, and they didn't take me in. That's when I got out in 1991. So I was just at the beginning when they started to send troops over.
How about Vietnam? You didn't catch Vietnam either.
No, I'm only 54.
Oh, that's right. You're good.
I know I look older than you. I know that, and yeah, I know.
Janice saw this. I'm the son of a veteran.
Oh, there you go.
That's my dad. His flag. I got it.
My dad was in the Army. My grandpa was in the Navy. My grandpa was on the USS Hornet, and you see me wearing his hat all the time.
Yes.
And
Lou Rock. Lou Rock wore that hat several times. Always telling the story. Yep. Yep.
I love veterans. I'll always love veterans. My biggest fear that I always talk about is I hope the young people don't lose the spirit of acknowledging our veterans.
The thing, yeah, you're definitely right there. But you know, like I said, there's a lot of guys and girls that join the military, and they command the respect that will, I believe, that'll always be there. I couldn't picture it where they wouldn't be respected. But then again, I have to say, when I look at what has happened to veterans in the past, where they used to sleep at the lake across the street from my house. And in the wintertime, I used to go over and snatch them up and tell them, come on over. I got a warm garage with heat in it. I got beds in there, and I will feed you a meal. And my son used to get so mad because he used to say, Ma, you don't know any of these guys, and you don't know that you're not going to end up getting us killed in our bed. And I was like this. I said, look it. They're older guys. They're not young boys. They wear they're still in their damn uniforms, for crying out loud, and they sleep in tents and they have campfires, and they don't ask nobody for nothing. You don't see them standing at Walmart pitching for money. You don't see them doing those things. You just don't see that really. And so I felt like it's getting freezing cold. If I didn't let them in, I'm wrong, you know, and I met quite a few people that way, and most of them ended up being good people. And if I say I met one sleeping on the corner right now in a box, I'd go get him and bring him home. I'd find somewhere to put him. I'd have I have a beautiful shed in the back that I want Lurock to make a tiny house out of, you know, and it's a good size, so it could be done. And my thought is if somebody needs a place to stay, we have one.
Well, just don't ever take away from your service just because you feel it wasn't, you know, the war thing or whatever. Don't
Definitely.
No, I think it
never put that responsibility on. You wear it proudly. You're a veteran, big time.
Guys, I want to show you something I just got. As you know, my wife, she grew up in Latvia, which is was a Soviet country, was occupied by the Russians. And her mom passed away of cancer. And the last year before she died, she wanted to buy my oldest son. It was her half grandson, I guess you call it, something. And she didn't know what to get him because video games and stuff. She ended up getting them this hat, and this is from a Soviet soldier.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That is cool.
And this is all the medals that he won. He participated in the Russian version of the Olympic or the Soviet Olympics and stuff like that, and different engagements that he did during his service. So,
wow.
I haven't never taken this out, so that's why. Sorry, I just thought of it when you were showing your hat band. I thought I'd show you.
You know, I'm glad you showed that, Andrew, because we do kind of forget to acknowledge the veterans around the world that we, you know, just because we start thinking, oh, were we at war with this person or not, or what, or veteran, you know, and plus we have a lot of allies out there. I mean,
Canada, us and the States have fought together in every major war. You know, we've always been together into it.
Oh, most of our families came from Canada. What the heck?
And there's something at the border while we're waiting to get through.
I know my family came from Canada, so it's like originally they came in from Ireland to Canada to the United States, and before you know it, it's all a part of our heritage, you know. So why wouldn't we want to fight together? I mean, crap.
It's an imaginary line when it's said and done. We're North Americans. We're people of the world. We all have that in common.
Oh, shoot. I didn't tweet out this stream.
Oh,
shame on you, Wacky.
My bad. Let me tweet it out. Sorry.
You're so funny. So yeah, no, that's why I think it's nice. We're having Remembrance Day tomorrow here, but I mean, it's a worldwide thing, same as all other celebrations about that. It's about really us all coming together and our losses.
True.
Right.
Our strengths and our losses.
I've taught my kids, they've traveled around the world, and I've taught them to always thank anybody in the military. Even when we were in Latvia, I mean, Russia was our ally in World War II before all this happened. Anybody who put their life on the line for it, I believe, deserves a simple thank you. It's not too much to ask of somebody.
I think as one, we're really no one, but as everyone together, we're mighty as heck and unstoppable.
That's right.
You know,
you know what, Janice, there's one thing the world can't take away from you and me. We will always be veterans. Always.
True.
100%. It's something that a bond. I can't even imagine what it feels like.
That's right.
Man, I remember talking to Fireman CV one time. Holy crap, he did like 8 or 12 years, like big.
Good. Yep.
I mean, long tours, and you know, there's a lot of people that probably don't know this, so they don't go over there. But there's a lot of veterans in the 420 community, like nice. Johnny Blaze, Ben Inya's friend. Man, he's like
smoke weed doesn't mean you can't fight for your damn country.
No, I just mean that if people go over there, they might not know that.
Yeah. Well,
He's like an Iraqi war veteran.
when I signed up for the military, I smoked weed, and I've been smoking weed my whole entire life. And it doesn't make or break me. It's just my vice.
Who
You
didn't?
know what I mean?
Who didn't?
It's just like what the hell is weed, guys? Is it? It's not like the shit that's going around these days. We don't do that kind of stuff. I mean, half of my friends that I grew up with are either dead from some kind of drug, pill, whatever, and here I am, still smoking my ass away.
But remember, Janice, I just want to remind you, Bill Clinton did not inhale, just so you know.
Lulu Love You says, my daughter served 5 years in reserves and is now Regimental Force nursing officer in the Canadian Army.
Oh, Lulu Love You's out in the chat, Lulu. My
That
sister.
is really, really awesome.
Oh, you got Neuro Trigger in here, Prankster Lock. You got
Yep.
a bunch of great people in here.
Yep.
Steve Ferrante is in here.
That's
Wow.
nice to see.
Skills is in here. Wow.
I can't do both. Not what I just ordered new glasses. My old glasses are starting to bother me, so I can't read and watch movement for some reason. It gives me such a headache.
Anytime with new glasses is hard like that.
I can go back and look at what everybody wrote and things like that, and everybody knows I love them.
I miss Xenia so much in these scenarios because she's so good at catch. I just catch the high spots. She covers the other 80% of the ground on chats. I feel like I'm missing my left arm tonight. So,
and I've been missing everybody. I haven't seen anybody. I have been, and I apologize for this. I haven't been watching any videos. I've been very busy since we got our new vehicle, and things have been happening left and right. And it's just like, that freedom is back of being able to get up.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah.
Well, I'll get to it later. Like tonight, I was sitting down looking at some of the videos that I've missed, and some of them are great for a laugh, some are good for a cry. I was like, yes, I'm back, I'm home, But
wow, Neuro Trigger said his dad was in Vietnam.
oh, really?
I didn't know that.
Wow.
I had a friend that was in Vietnam.
I still think that was one of the very worst wars in our time.
Got Kennedy killed. Oop, I didn't say that. Sorry.
A lot of people were killed. And like somebody was saying, when you're a soldier, it doesn't matter what country you're from. It's not, in some countries, they don't have the right to volunteer for the military. They're inducted and they have no choice. And so, you can't just imagine what that kind of soldier feels like when they have to be doing what they have to do to stand up for their country.
I'm a little out of touch now. Do we still have the draft where when you're 18, do the 18-year-olds still have to sign up, Ben, in our country?
No, that's not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, we don't have the draft right now.
Well, not the draft. What I mean is they had it where you had to register when you're 18, not the draft. I apologize. I misworded it. Do you still have to register when you're 18 now?
I have no idea. Don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
That's a good question, though.
Like,
that's a real good question because he's right. You used to have to automatically sign up when you were 18.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean draft. That was like, it was register. You had to register.
Yeah.
right.
I know my son had to.
Registration.
Yeah. Okay. I just thought maybe you'd know.
Ask questions for try it said, yes, USA age 18 selective service registration.
Oh, you still have to. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a draft. I mean,
no, it's not a draft unless they say it is.
Yep, registration. Yep.
Yeah, don't bring back old war stories. Dave.
I said it wrong. I said it right.
I'm ready to come over to Wisconsin and kick your cheese ass.
For a while, I was impressed. I was ready to give you a gold star, but
I thought it was going to be a nice, clean night, but he had to say that.
Jeepers, I thought I could have got a blue wrench in Pusa's chat, but I guess not.
We're not really into handing out wrenches around here. So.
I know. I saw that. So
no, right?
By the way, is it just coincidence that we have two veterans up here, Andrew, or was your chat about veterans tonight?
Well, we kind of just Ben and I were talking the last minute because this was so spur in the moment.
Yeah.
And then we just started talking, and then Mama Rock came in and he mentioned her, so we said, let's get her up here.
Okay, gotcha. I just wondered.
Ben was actually the only person that knew that I was in the Air Force, and that was, like I said, because I had found the pictures, and I was like,
I kept it a
wow.
secret.
I just wanted to show somebody, I'm not ashamed of it. It was something I really have nobody to talk to, because everybody around here, nobody's been in the service, and they're going through their life things, and it's like, what do they want to hear? So you kind of just don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And then when I started coming across the papers and all this other stuff, I was like, oh God, my God, I can't remember. Look at me. Oh my God.
So do you wear a hat like Ben wears sometimes, or do you have a veteran hat or something? Or
I have, like I was telling Ben, most of my stuff is at my dad's, because my dad has over the years collected it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I caught that, but do you have your own a hat?
I have quite a few. I have quite a bit of crap. I have my stripes. I have my uniform. I don't know if I have all of my dress. I think I might have used mine.
I love the hats because I meet veterans everywhere, Walmart, restaurants, and I like to shake their hand. I love it when you guys wear those hats. I wish every veteran
at the when we do the I can't think of what it's called right now. When we do our stuff at the Legion, we all dress up and go in uniform and stand there and then march in the parade and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kid you not, every time I've thanked a veteran,
couple of years or so, maybe 10.
Every time I've thanked a veteran, they've said thanks. Every time I see one at a store or something, I just gently say, "It's a quick question, you veteran?" They say, "Yeah," because they're wearing the hat. I just reach my hand out and say, "Thanks for serving." I've never had anyone turn away that handshake, not once. And they said, "Thanks for noticing."
It's a proud moment for anybody that served, definitely.
And some tell me they go a little further. Some will be, "Yeah, I served in '67. I was, da 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 da," and so some of them, I had a guy really go into it with me who was doing dust offs with a helicopter. I met him at Mayo Clinic, and he really wanted to tell. I'm like, "Go, man! I'm here, man." He just wanted to tell me about all these dust off adventures he had, and I was surprised. I normally. Man, it was just amazing. So
I wouldn't feel right about talking about veterans. This is actually Xenia's dad. He was served in the Russian army.
Is that an airplane wheel?
Yeah, he was in the aircraft, in the Russian aircraft, and that he was flying there actually to Chernobyl. He was one of the first pilots to fly in after the meltdown.
Oh my God!
I saw some internet story that people might be moving back there already.
And that's him there. That's a close up. And he was murdered in a park in Riga. He was beat over the head in a park when he was 41. And so, yeah, that was him. So I never got to meet him, unfortunately, but I always just try to remember him for myself, my kids, and my wife. So, yeah, that's him.
Wow. What's it say? 66? 1966?
1986.
Oh, 86.
My wife was born in 84. She doesn't have a color photograph of herself till she was 9, because after the Soviet Empire fell, I mean, they caught up quickly afterwards, but until then, everything was just frozen in time.
They had those pretty haircuts too.
Oh, yeah. So that was one thing that was universal with everybody. And that was hard for them because they had to serve a country that was occupying them, and you had to serve it with the same honor, respect, not honor, but they were forced to.
I swear they trained those hairdressers with a bowl.
Oh yeah. there was no
bad.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at your hat, actually. I've never studied it. Are those like pins that you got, or are they just there to kind of add
there's a guy at the VA hospital that I go to. He actually sells a hat, and since I support that vendor, he's a veteran himself. I bought the hat from them, and I bought the pins except my stripes. Those come from my uniform, my actual Air Force stripes.
So those stripes you would wear on your uniform all the time?
Right.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Right here, right?
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
And I wore white since I was a cook, so both my pins were on my lapel when I was serving.
Wow. Is there something about the stripes, as far as
the rank? That's your rank. When I got out of basic training, I came out with 0 stripes. You start out with the first stripe, I can't even remember. I think it was just called Airman, and then Airman First Class, Airman Second Class, Senior Airman, Buck Sergeant. Then you got Staff Sergeant, Tech Sergeant, Master Sergeant, Senior Master Sergeant, Chief Master Sergeant, then Chief Master Sergeant in the Air Force. God, I still remember them all. Holy crap!
Wow. Well, they always say they drill it into you in the military. I mean, that's pretty impressive. This might be a stupid question, but the stripes, are they the same left and right, or do they all equal left and right, like 6 stripes? Like there's 3 stripes on each side of that pin.
Yeah. It's a V. It's a V shape.
Yeah. Is it 3 or is it 6?
Isn't
No,
it
it's total 3 stripes.
replicate the airplane wings or something?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I've never asked that. It's just I'm noticing it because you're on camera there.
It's that's the thing about us. I mean, that was never served. We hear stories, we've seen stuff on TV, but a lot of things like that we don't know, and I guess we just all don't want to ask. But yeah, it is a good question. It's amazing how you guys have. I see the way you guys talk about it now, and how much it seems to have shaped your lives. Is what amazes me the most. Even though you're doing different things and time has gone on, watching you guys talk about it, I can see that spark in you. And I think that's the most amazing part of all this, is just watching that.
Well, today I would never recommend anyone to join the service. And that's just my opinion.
And
It's a really fucked up world. And when I was serving, it really wasn't the best of time either. I would say the best time to serve was probably Korea on back. That was probably the best time to serve. But today we're fighting over stupid, dumb things. We're like I said earlier, we're trying to grab other people's resources because we don't have them, and we're always trying to be the elite, always trying to be the top dog. And a lot of these troops, they go over and they fight a war, and a lot of them don't know why they're going over there and fighting. If they only knew. If they only knew.
Yeah, they're being handed some bullshit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying, actually. Yeah. I've always told people, though, just remember, always at least honor the veterans, regardless of the politics of the United States.
Yeah, not the veterans.
Yeah, and that's the truth. Honor any military man.
I met someone once that didn't want to honor the veterans because they didn't like the politics of the United States, and it was like, the veterans, don't hold it against them. They didn't make those politics.
Definitely.
And some of them didn't have any choice.
Man, I get choked up when we start talking about veterans. I get moved by what you guys do. Like, really moved by veterans.
Michigander, man.
He's a big deal.
I'm going to answer that by telling you they should go immediately to prison. That's my opinion about it. Somebody's pretending to be like they served in the military. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah,
I did serve, and that's not fair to me. That's not fair to Canada who put our time in. Yeah, I'd like to see those people put in prison.
What did Rob say? Oh, I see it.
They always give themselves away, though.
That pisses me off when people do that.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that there's anybody that wouldn't be pissed off about that.
Yeah, I don't care what views you got. Anybody would be upset about that.
Yeah.
It's
like, don't pretend to be something you're not.
Especially something like that. That's the lowest. The only thing I think it would be equal to, it would be somebody pretending like to be a victim of that uses a situation to monetize onto it, and the worst factor, a large fire, shootings, claims to be dead, all those things. It's the lowest form of crime possible. No respect, no dignity.
I look at this guy that pretends to be a veteran. He's standing out in the park, And then you got this one veteran that comes along that's 75 years old. He's missing both legs in a fucking wheelchair, man.
Yeah.
And you just I just want to kick that guy's ass, man. I just want to fucking.
Well, that's like what I was saying earlier, Ben, about seeing these guys standing in a uniform, and you could tell they're not freaking veterans because of the way that they're dressing with this uniform. Because you were taught when you put that uniform on, there's a certain way to wear it, and it's respect, number one. And then you look at these guys standing at those damn corners, and they got their boots halfway up, a lace holding over. Then the cuffs of one's up, one's down. Oh my God, I want to just get out of the car and smash the shit out of them. And then you see the real veteran sitting across the street around a campfire with 3 of his old buddies, just sitting there talking, shooting the shit. And these guys are outside freezing to death and not asking nobody for nothing.
That's right.
Hey guys, remember, tweet this stream out. Tweet it out if you have a Twitter account, and put a hashtag veterans. You know?
Guys, because we didn't plan at the time on doing this, but I think it's something a lot of people not only want to hear, but some need to hear. So if you could do that, that would really help. Mention it out in the description what we're talking about.
Yeah, just tweet it out. Let people know we're talking.
Heavy Metal Magnets with his father tonight. I think, Dave, you weren't here when we mentioned it. Getting his father's getting his first round of treatment for cancer, and his father was a vet as well. So he said he really appreciates the conversation tonight to help distract, and he feels connected to it. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, Heavy Metal Magnet.
Your pop.
Heavy Metal Magnet also said, who wears what and why? Here's a breakdown of the insignia. Chevrons, which I wore. You know, I was enlisted. Okay, I wasn't an officer. I was an enlisted member. But anyhow, and that's what he's talking about, chevrons. Most enlisted personnel in every military service branch wear chevrons or V-shaped stripes. That is correct.
Hey, and Heavy Metal Magnet, just so you know, we have a prayer stream that we do every Thursday. We have a prayer list. I'm putting your dad on there right now on my OBS prayer list, just so you know.
Seven is enough, said at Prankster Lock. Yep. Cab 7, my husband served for 9 years and my son is serving now, and I get irritated when dropouts stand. That's exactly. And thank you for your family's service.
Awesome.
Heavy Metal Magnus also said bars, which are the officers. These are worn by officers in the low pay grades. Officers at 0 to 1 pay grade wear 1 gold bar. We called them butter bars when I was in. 02 wear a silver bar. That's correct. 03 wear 2 stars, which is a captain. That's correct. Warrant officers wear stripe bars.
What I missed what you were saying about dropouts. What was that comment there? I was typing Heavy Metal Magnet in the prayer list.
Right.
What were you talking about there? Something about dropout standing or something?
That was for 7 is enough, said Prankster Lock. Yep. Cab 7, my husband served for 9 years and my son is serving now, and I get irritated when dropouts stand. People who drop out of the service and they're proud to stand up. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm like, what do you drop? We're talking about veterans. I think what happened with school? People that drop out of the military, like dishonorably or something, you mean?
Dishonorable, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if that's exactly what they were leading to or not, but that's how I read into it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
You get 10 years for stolen valor here. Yeah, 10 years. Wow, ain't that something? Yeah, tell that to that veteran who served, 35 years. Tell him that 10 years. That's bullshit.
Well, they were where we live over at the Walmart one day. I don't know if it was a veteran that was doing it. It may have been, but he actually busted like 3 or 4 of those guys that were over there. And these guys, I don't know where they got the stripes or the authentic looking. I mean, totally authentic looking. You would think that they just stepped out of the military, out of a picture. And
oh, you know where you can get those? You can get them at any Army Navy surplus. That's where you get all that stuff from.
You know what I hate? It happened this summer again where I live, and I swear I'm going to yell about it next time. I can't stand when the veterans go by holding the flag and everyone sits in their lawn chair with their hats on and their sunglasses on. Because I always stand up, take the hat off, and I put my hand over my heart when they go by. And that this summer it happened. I was like,
has respect for the flag anymore. It's they don't care.
When I did a live stream in the funny as this may sound, while I was voting the other day, while I was standing in line, just a 20-minute live stream, but I put the camera up on the flag because it was there on the pole, and I said, "That's why we're doing this. That flag's still up there."
Listen, today they don't even let the kids do the Pledge of Allegiance in school anymore. So it's kind of because it might offend someone because it has words in it that they don't like. So, I mean, go figure.
I've never served, and I have always appreciated what you guys have done, what my forefathers have done to give us what we have. And a couple of years ago, I got the chance to go to Auschwitz and see what a mass murder site looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying I was part of it. You just go there for the day. You're nothing more than a tourist. But you cannot walk out of there if you have any kind of heart left in your soul and say that nothing happened and there's nothing worth fighting for in this world, because you can walk every inch of that and smell the death.
Yeah.
And there's one point everybody asks you, like, what's the hardest part to see? And you get to go in the smaller gas chambers. Of course, the bigger ones were blew up. They tried to hide it. The saddest part to me was the railway that comes in with the big stoppers. You know, you've seen a railway yard. The old ones had the big wooden stoppers for the cars to hit. Because that was the end of the line. And that's where almost 1.5 or 2 million people lost their lives, was that stopper hit, and there was nowhere left to go. And they were just sorted left or right. If you went right, you lived. If you were going to die, you went left. And I dare anybody to tell me there's nothing worth fighting for in this world.
I want to say thank you for your service, John Daly. John Daly just said, I served the U.S. Air Force 77 to 81, Langley Air Force Base. That's where I was. 71st Fighter Squadron. I was 62nd Armament System Specialist on F-15s.
Awesome.
There's Arthur, who went to the beaches of Normandy. I carry this in my wallet. He's in his full dress.
Nice.
And I carry that in my wallet, that old picture. My dad in the military, and he saw action that would curl anyone's blood.
Amazing.
He opened up once in a while over a cigarette to me because I'm his son. He told me stories that made my jaw drop out. He had nightmares, sweats, woke up, ruined. I mean, it affected his whole life. So
you actually look like him.
Yeah, I know. That's what people say, and it's scary. Don't say that.
Nothing wrong with that. Be proud of that.
He was the guy in the, that movie Saving Private Ryan. That was my dad. He was there when the doors went down and he went out and the bullets were, and he ran. He made it, and because of that, I'm here. So
Heavy Metal said, nobody follows the law of our flag either. They let it fly at night with no light. They leave it out in the rain to dispose of it. They dispose of it correctly when it's worn or tattered. They let it touch the ground.
Oh, isn't that terrible? People, I know, the proper flag etiquette. It was always supposed to be never touches the ground.
When we were kids, we thought if you put the flag on the ground, you would be arrested. I don't know. Our parents did that to us, though. They're like, have respect for that. You don't put that on the ground. They'll come and arrest you.
Just because you guys are veterans, what do you guys think about? Just curious. I noticed a trend lately, the past decade or so. They seem to be a little more loose with the half-mast. Or, when it used to be just for death of a president or something like that. Now they'll do it just school shootings, things like that. Do you think that's okay with the flag, or do you think they've gone to just do it for everything?
Well, what just happened here recently? A veteran went into a restaurant and killed 12 people. That happened 2 days ago. Yep.
Really?
Sure did.
Wow.
Sure did. Matter of fact, even went into the bathroom and shot people in the bathroom, the stalls.
What?
Yep.
Where?
California.
I can't remember where it was.
California, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Wow. And was this a deal where he was killed too, or
apparently it was yeah, he killed himself.
Your ash, Ben.
Oh.
I always notice it. I'm just waiting for it to fall. I'm like, timber.
Thousand Oaks, California. Yeah, okay. It might have been in California, I think.
Pretty sure. I couldn't remember exactly where. I was having a mental freeze, but yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it was far, right?
Oh,
well, apparently this veteran had some issues while he was serving. He was a Marine, and he had some issues, I guess, some mental issues while he was serving. And it's too bad that no one noticed, because maybe they could have gotten him help before he went as far as he did.
Wow. I always get scared when I hear about that stuff, you know. Just
was he PTSD or something? Did they say something was wrong with him, Ben?
I don't know. I didn't get to read the article. I've only heard some stories, you know, through other people.
Right.
That's something that's got to change, like that in Canada as well. I'm sure as the States, they've got to get more resources in, and it has to be mandatory when you leave the service. There's got to be some sort of follow-up transitional period, somebody you can talk to.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like the States is probably the same as here. It's so dire need at this point.
The only thing I get afraid of when I hear about those is I always feel like our government's going to make a grab for the guns. I don't want them to turn it into that.
No, I think it's more just like there, Miss Ryder Roddy says they never recondition these people back into society. They're just kind of dumped back in. And it's not I don't want to use this to insult anybody, but it's kind of like somebody's been in for lack of a better term, prison for 20 years and just dropped off the next block. They have a life, but I mean, they've lived a certain life and seen a lot of what hell can throw at a person. It's just like, well, here you go. And it's been nice. And, go find a career. Well, it's a hard transition. It's nothing to insult. It's my heart saying I feel like they're being abandoned.
Well, do you remember, you know, I know it's kind of a strange example, but do you remember Rambo, the original movie with Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
He makes a comment in there once. It kind of hits home when you think, he says, when I was in the military, I was in charge of multi-million-dollar, you know, equipment. And now I can't even get a dishwashing job.
Yep.
And that kind of hit home. He was, you know, imagine he's in the military. Someone would be in the military. They're in charge. I mean, you know, those tanks and all that stuff. They're mechanics, whatever they are, multi-million-dollar equipment. They come back and they can't even get a job.
Yep. That's right.
Ask questions. Try it. Said Cab 7. My grandfather served in World War II and father in Vietnam, along with a number of other family members, uncles and cousins. I believe I'm eligible for Sons of Revolutionary War. I would look into that.
What was that? Let's see. What was that comment? Here we no, that's
it's heavy metal magnet. He had several incidents with sheriffs several times, but they always let him go. They never 5150'd him. We should have paid more attention. That guy. Yeah. Exactly, you know, and done a terrible thing, and there's no excuse for it. But at the same time, too, if something had been done long before that, we might not be talking about it today.
True.
Yeah. You know? And once again, I don't mean any disrespect to compare before if somebody says about veterans to prisoners. What I meant was is kind of isolated another part and then just kind of dropped into society. I think it's such a disadvantage to the veteran.
It's a good example. It really is. I think.
I'm amazed every day that our government just, my goodness, the vets should be treated like royalty, you know?
You know, there's a picture I saw, and I'm going to try to say this without falling apart. I know I'm going to fall apart anyway.
It's all right.
But there was a picture of the Vietnam Wall, and I've been there up in D.C. with my dad. And there's a picture I saw on the internet some years ago, and it was of a veteran who was sitting down in front of the wall, his back right up against the wall, and he held that cardboard sign that said, "I worked for you, will you work for me?" Which meant he couldn't find a job. This was a guy that was just leaning up against the wall that had no place to turn. He felt like his government had abandoned him. And it tells a story, and it just makes you sick.
Very so.
Well, you watch a basketball player get a $100 million contract, and the kids look up to the basketball player. I'm sorry, not slamming basketball out there, people. just using it as an example. You know, the kids look up to a football player. They need to learn to look up to the veterans. Is that Lou? Is that Lou?
What up, y'all?
Hey,
Hey,
how are you, Lou?
brother Lou.
Woke up.
Welcome.
I
Nice to see you.
didn't know Mama Rock was a veteran, Lou. I just found this out tonight.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that?
No, out of all this time, we just never talked about it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it like once or twice, but
Yeah.
a lot of my family. I actually signed. I tried to sign up when I was I believe 27, and they want to take me because of my chest surgery that I had when I was 16 years old. But most of my family was in the military.
Really?
My great grandfather was on the USS Hornet, which was the first boat sent. Not boat. I don't know what they call them, but the first
Carrier.
I don't know what to call it, but they don't call them boats. I don't think.
She just don't carrier.
That works. Don't worry. That's
Anyways,
He's just waking up. He's just waking up.
yeah. Anyways, it was the first carrier sent out after Pearl Harbor, and it was actually sunk by kamikazes. And my great grandfather was on that carrier.
And when he imitates my grandfather, he sounds just like him.
Oh, every Christmas we'd hear the story, and every Christmas he was in the water for like another 8 hours. Like it started off like the first Christmas he was like in the water for like 4 hours, and by the time he passed when he was 96, he was in the water for like 14 days.
jeez.
Nah, I'm just messing around. But if he didn't make it out of that, my mom wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. His buddies were all being eaten by sharks and stuff. And I remember every Christmas he would tell us the story. It was a gruesome story. They were sunk by kamikazes and
In the Battle of Midway.
No, my dad told me a few gruesome stories, just man to man, son to dad kind of thing. And I remember him well. Because I know tight-lipped, you know, you don't talk about it, but he wanted me to know a few things about what he saw, so I think he just wanted to tell me a few.
Heavy Metal Magnet says my grandfather jumped off the side of his battleship into the waters with a knife to kill a Japanese kamikaze to protect us.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's what I mean. Like, them people back then were built of like iron. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just nowadays, our soldiers, and not saying that it's easy to be a soldier nowadays, but they didn't have smart bombs and easy bombs and whatever else they're called. Nowadays, you got GPS guided bullets, you know. But,
Wow.
yeah.
My dad said when the door went down, he ran. He had no more friends. He just ran. That's the way he said it. I didn't have a single friend anymore. I just ran.
Was he in
Normandy, beaches in Normandy.
Oh my gosh.
He saw it, and he's told me he was a forward scout, and he had a lot of guilt actually, because he told people he went, you know, he would find where they are and he'd radio back and he'd see the explosions and he would know, you know, that he just wiped out possibly 1,000 people, you know, with one phone call, you know.
Yeah.
He had nightmares, and you know, I think that's why him and my mom got divorced, and he paid a hefty price for being there.
Oh, they all did.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, yes. But just those few stories he told me made an impact. You know, I know when they did that movie, Saving Private Ryan, some veterans left.
Mm.
At the opening. It was so real. They got it too good.
Yep.
And they were reliving it, you know.
They did their research.
Well, you see hell on earth. How do you ever forget it? I mean, how do you ever live a completely normal life after it? You've seen the worst of humanity in full action.
The worst. The worst.
I remember my great grandfather was guilty that he survived,
And his friends.
and his friends didn't.
That was one of his biggest complaints.
He wanted his friends.
That's such a common thing to hear amongst them. It's amazing to say that, to see the heart pour out and the guilt for being here. It's not victorious. They feel lost from it. You know, like you say, it's amazing the mentality to have that going through something, to actually feel sad that you're alive and your brothers went down.
Well, my friend Dick, we used to deliver pizzas together, but he was older than me, and he was in Vietnam, and this was back in the 80s. And he told me a couple stories. He said every night he used to smoke pot, actually. He said every single night he thought he was going to die. Every single night. And he'd get out there and, you know, they do the walking of the, you know, the take, you know, you take your shift to watch.
Yeah.
He said every night he'd just get high because he figured, why not? I'm going to die tonight. And he went through that night after night, but he made it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine.
Crazy.
That's why I just love the veterans so much, because people drive around in their SUVs with their cell phones making all these political opinions about veterans.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm not a veteran. I've never been. You know, it's like, put yourself in their shoes, what they went through.
But nobody does today. That's the problem. No empathy for anything because they don't ever put themselves, especially in something like that.
And again, don't ever take away from what you guys did as veterans just because you weren't, you know, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I don't
you were
think
in the service for a while though, right?
4 active, 2 inactive, but the thing
That's a long time to me. 6 years.
Yeah. But I wasn't trying to take away from. I was just trying to say that there's an extra sense of respect for those that did go to war. You know.
I remember my grandfather telling us the story every year was almost like letting us know that we're lucky that we're here. You know what I mean? Like, we're lucky to be here. And I was proud to be.
He was part of the Doolittle, right?
Yeah, I'm proud to be his great grandson. I mean, that guy, he fought for, and that's what makes me sad when we lose rights like freedom of speech, which gets stepped on every single day. And these are the rights that, you know, all you guys signed up to protect. And
today they're fighting for different reasons.
About 2 months ago, maybe it's 3 now, doesn't matter, 2, 3, whatever it was. Someone on my wife's side, Emmett, and I knew him, he died. It was my wife's mom's brother, it would have been. He was a veteran. We went to the funeral. They did the whole gun salute thing, and I cried my eyes out. When those guys walked up, emotionless face, you know, they're really serious about when they bury a veteran, and they, you know, they fold over the flag, they got their perfect thing, and they did the gun salute, and I lost it. I was like, wow, just really sunk in. I mean, I was like, just that was really moving, you know, and I didn't even know Emmett was a veteran.
I'm gonna go watch you guys in the other room.
Hey, take care. Nice seeing you, Rob.
Hey, yeah, good to see you, Lou, and my best to Omar, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was public, so I figure I can say, but you know.
Yeah.
I went through it, so I know what I know.
Another one here.
I've been through it too.
Yeah. Yeah. But so, you don't wish it on anyone.
Nope.
Nope, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to share something if you guys can just entertain me for a moment. Talk about, this is the town Puša. This is the namesake of our business. This is where my mother-in-law grew up. She died of cancer. We named it after her. And you can't see it right here, but behind it is the old family house. And during the Second World War, when her parents only had their first son, Oswald, if you see these trees here, the Germans were in these trees, and on these side, the Russians were here, and they fought with this house in the middle for months. And they would spare the women and children, but the men were killed on contact. So her husband had to hide over the hill in these gullies. And to this day, you can still see the burrows where they were hiding. And there's a house just to the distance there. Her husband was a bricklayer, and he built a chimney with a crawl space just enough for him to contort himself to be in. and somebody got captured. They ratted on them. They went in, the Germans, with seven machine guns eventually, and shot him inside the chimney. They blew it to pieces with him in it.
Wow.
He was hiding over the hill, and every couple of nights she could put out a load of laundry in the evening or something. That was a sign for it was safe for him to run in the house, eat something, see 7-month-old son, and run back before daybreak. So eventually the Germans pushed forward and they made it to the house and ran them out of there. The Germans took the house as the outpost, and he ran over the hill, and it was spring and everything was unthawing, but there was still glazed ice. There's a pond there, and he finally had to make a run for his life, and the Germans and Russians didn't care, whoever you were, they were shooting. And he bolted across at dusk, and they were firing from both sides, and he fell out of sight with his wife standing there holding, by then, her maybe 10-month-old son. She thought she lost her husband, but he had fallen to the ice and was able to make his way to shore and stay in the freezing water till it got dark to get back on shore.
Wow.
And that house we were in, like her uncle said, that's where the Germans planned out their attack against the Russians in the trees. He said the floorboards are still here, the same table. He said the beds you slept into last night, those were what the Germans used all those years ago, planning their attack.
And so that's the town Puša?
Yep, that's right. This is the outskirts of it, but it's not a very big town. It's just a couple of buildings inside. Yep.
All right. I'm going in another room. I'm going to watch this. It's okay.
Sorry, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. There's that's what living in the middle, because we forget about when we went over to serve, but that was also for them just getting caught in the middle of the war, and your home and everything is under attack, your family, your children, your animals, your livelihood.
Yeah, I don't think some people that come to your live streams even know that that's a real place, your name, the Puša.
Yeah, exactly.
Friends, but I don't think people out in the chat know that, actually.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's just a tiny town about 40 kilometers from the Russian border, and it's a very small area. And like I say, we just named it after her mom, and it's kind of a tribute to her. So, yeah.
You know what's really fucked up is that I don't know how many countries there are in the world. There's close to 200, I suppose, countries in the world. And most people in all those countries, including ours, want peace. Just the regular person, just the regular person like you and me. We all want peace, but it's that top 1% that like to cause the wars. They're the ones with all the money, all the control, and they're the ones that cause all the wars. But all of us, the 99% of us, most of us want peace. And I can't get over that. There's a Russian group of people right now that are probably on a live stream, who knows, talking about the same thing. We just want peace. We just, we want people to be kind to one another. It doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
But a lot of people complain about the Iraqi war, because of the politics involved with it. But we had a family come to our church that lived there and to speak, that was thanking America because it actually freed him and his family. And he said there's a lot of stories like ours that are not getting out there because it's spun that it's all about oil and this and that and the other thing. But he was thanking everyone in America for freeing his family. I know it got crazy over there, but I always remember that story.
Yeah,
it's a damn shame. There's 99% of us. We're the whole world.
Yeah.
Why can't we just get rid of those damn 1% people? I think we'd be so much better off than what we are now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow.
Like Xenia, she's only 34, and like she was telling you guys the other night, she could remember hiding in the back of her grandfather's car and the tanks screaming in for the last stand in Latvia when they were trying to break their independence from Russia. Like, I listened to her talk, and you can hear in her voice how important independence is because they've lost it. She started her life, her country was occupied. We take it for granted here so badly, and then we let these guys walk all over us to, like you say, for the most meaningless things in the world over the 1%. We keep causing it. It's like history is not learning from itself.
Well,
I just couldn't imagine being in a war-torn country and to live with that every single day of your life.
Yeah.
A kid growing up, 5 years old and over in Afghanistan and has to live with war for 15 years.
Yeah.
I think it's been going on longer than that. So all the way through his kidhood, he couldn't have a normal kidhood. There wasn't playing ball on the streets and shit like that. you always had to be, anchored down because you knew that any second, a bomb could come through your house and end all of you. I couldn't imagine living that life with no peace, none.
Imagine growing up in like Jerusalem and Israel,
Yeah.
I mean, every day they're like exchanging,
Yeah, that's right. Send the 1% to a private island. You're damn right. I'm all for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let them blow it up on themselves. Let their children have to run and hide. Let them live in horror for a while and see how much they think it's a great idea.
Wow.
It's I don't know. It's the sad part is, we all talk and we all mean it, but like we don't have any power into it, and we know as well that we're going to be seeing this more and more times. As much as we know it's the wrong thing, we don't make the decisions, and they're gonna
do what they gotta do and what they want.
Heavy metals, Magnet, you're exactly right. Then let's add the fact that life is short as well. You're damn right it's short.
Yeah.
Definitely. Blink of an eye.
Yep.
It really is, and the people that are fighting these wars. I'm 51. I always look at the scale of life as 100 or less. 100 being the max. So I'm for sure over half. And then if you go with 7, it's very short, very short. Hey, Simple Joys is in there. Hey, Grant.
Nice to see you. Thank you so much for the kind words a while ago. Great to have each and every one of you guys in here tonight. Really, like I said, this was kind of impromptu, and we didn't even have a plan. Just kind of Ben and I were talking, and Dave was gone for a few minutes. We just decided to throw on a live stream, so we didn't have a topic. And tomorrow is Remembrance Day in all the Commonwealth countries, and then it's Veterans Day Monday, right?
Yes.
We celebrate Remembrance Day on Monday, but it was tomorrow, so it's nice. It's nice to hear everybody's stories, and I had one to it just because I'm the only Canadian one up here. Unfortunately, I didn't serve, but I'll mention one thing. This is our nation's capital, Ottawa, and you see these tulips. They're sent here every year since World War II as a gift to the Canadian government because we protected their princess who was pregnant at the time in Netherlands. She came over here, and the thing is, she was about to give birth to their son who would have been heir to the throne. But if he wasn't born on Dutch soil, he would lose his right. So Canada took the Parliament building you see behind you and officiated one room to be official Netherlands soil so she could give birth and her baby would hold its right. And every year they send a full shipload of tulips to Ottawa to say thank you. And that still goes on to this day.
One thing that bothers me, and I know there's nothing I can do about it, but it can still bother me, is that all the Veterans Days and the Memorial Days and all that, how they always turn into like a shopping day. Like Memorial Day sale, Veterans Day sale. How did that happen?
We don't get that here. I don't know why. And I don't know why it never worked out that way. It's not anything different, but yeah, we don't have it. But a lot of the ones from here go down to the States to catch those sales.
But
but I can give kudos. Let me counterbalance that. I can give kudos to all those restaurants that give a free meal to a veteran.
Definitely.
There's stores, big box stores like Lowe's and Home Depot. Probably some veterans didn't realize this, and I take advantage of it. That every day that we go into one of those big box stores like Lowe's or Home Depot, we always get a 10% discount for veterans.
But if it was more for that, yeah, exactly. The commercial side is kind of bewildering. I wish they would do it more specifically just for them.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. I'm just talking about when it's like a Memorial Day sale, like just to take a little bit away from the seriousness of the day.
Well, they did the same thing to Christmas, Wacky.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, true. I guess that's
very
true.
Good point.
So what do you guys consider Veterans Day? Because like it's Sunday it'll be Sunday, but it's observed on Monday.
Yeah.
So you just consider it Monday then?
Yeah, that's when it will all happen at 11 a.m. at the timing of the signing of the Declaration, and they'll have legions all over Canada. A lot of Boy Scouts. Some.
Ben, we'll have to do a Veterans Day like live stream again with the American flag flying.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I remember like Memorial Day or whatever it was. I did like 3 of them that day, and I had the animation of the American flag waving in the back. Just to remind people.
I don't mean to be stupid because I just literally forget. Do you guys wear the poppy? Is that in the States or is it? I know it's
not that I'm aware of. I've never seen that.
Right. Okay.
I've seen those, but I think that's more of a fundraiser or some. I know what you're talking about. Those red.
Yeah.
The Salvation Army here gives them out.
Okay. See, here it's mostly the legions that sell them, and I mean that's probably the biggest part. It's because Flanders Fields was written by a Canadian. I don't know if you guys know that poem. In Flanders Fields, the poppy rose. It was a doctor who wrote it during the war, and it became like kids used to have to learn it in school. I wish they would, but they don't anymore. And you had to recite it on Remembrance Day, and everybody wears the poppy as a symbol of that poem for all the soldiers that were killed.
So your Remembrance Day coincides with the Veterans Day timing?
Well, yeah, because we don't celebrate Veterans Day here. They call it Remembrance Day.
But they actually acknowledge it as Remembrance Day in Canada?
That's right.
In Canada, not
Commonwealth countries, all part of the United Kingdom. We're an independent country, but we're still part of the Commonwealth, like Australia and that. Yeah.
Oh, the Simple Joy said, we wear the poppy here at Puša Studios. The RSL usually sell them. Return Service League.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. Like I was really literally asking. I wasn't sure at all. So they used to give them out when I was in school. Like parents would have to make a donation, and you had to have one. It was a lot. It's the same as you guys. I find it's going down and down as time goes on, and I find that so sad to see.
Tradition is going out the window and being replaced with whatever.
Exactly. Just to disconnect from it all. Just no knowledge of it, and how can they have knowledge of something they're not even really told about?
Yeah, that's what I get scared of. I don't want the kids to they need to remember this and carry on the tradition of remembering veterans.
That's part of what I was hoping tonight, that we'll have some younger people come in here that do stumble in a lot of times and maybe hear 5 minutes of this.
My kids know it because I talked to them about it, and they know about their grandfather being the veteran, and yeah, I just don't want that to get lost.
No,
because we must be. I think Jeepers, there's just a handful of people left from like World War II. I don't even know how many are left. A few 100-year-old kind of vets, The
numbers are going down fast. I mean, we're talking ending in 1945 ending, so you had to be, at least then by 20, just to be even able to serve in the tail end of it.
You'd have to be in your 90s pretty much to be part of that crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's only a limited window of people that will be even,
left.
Yeah.
There's not many left to tell the story, and if we don't do it, it's going to disappear like anything else.
I've been to Arlington Cemetery many times, and in 2001 I went to Arlington with a friend of mine who had lost his partner. So we went to the main office to find out where his grave was. Well, found out that it was in a wall. So we got the section, and we drove over there and found this wall with all these veterans, about 175 veterans. And I'm looking at these, I'm going, there's something wrong here. And there was the place where the nameplates were supposed to be placed, but they're all filled with these cards that were in plastic. So I get up close and I look at these cards that are in plastic, and I'm going, wow, this is the name of the person that served, the time they served, and when they passed away. So I get to the office and I go back and I said, what is that all about? I said, how come they don't have nameplates? And they said, we've been waiting for nameplates for years. These people have went without nameplates because it's hard to keep engravers. It's hard to keep engravers around. So that's why they're all still in paper. Now, I don't know what it is today. Hopefully they've resolved that issue, but it made me sick. These people who had served, in all those wars prior, didn't even have a nameplate.
Wow.
And when you die, that's one thing you get as a veteran. I don't care how much time, as long as you serve 90 days or more, when you die, you get the right to have a nameplate. That's given to you. A flag, and there's something else that you're given as well, and I can't remember what the heck it was. But that's if you serve 90 days or more. If you serve you know, 20, then you get everything. I mean, you get the full rights of
Yeah, there was some deal with my dad where we couldn't. It was like extra for the gun salute, you know, where they fire the guns.
That's the other sad thing. You
It
know,
was,
you know
I'm
what?
thinking to myself, my goodness, my dad was on the beaches of Normandy.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't you spring for doing? But I think it was like $2,000 they wanted from us.
Nowadays, this is what you get nowadays at most veteran cemeteries: a tape recorder that tape records it, because
Yeah.
there's not enough horn players out there. Seriously, man, that's what they get. They
Wow.
can't even get someone out there to play a horn.
You know, I was looking it up the last.
They'll bail car companies out. They'll bail car companies out.
Yes.
With billions of dollars, but we can't find a guy to play a trumpet at a veteran funeral.
Well,
That's really,
it's that bad. It's that bad.
kind of pathetic, you know, when you think about it.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe it's a cause to take up. I don't know. My goodness. I mean, jeepers. We're like one of the richest companies in the world, or countries in the world.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah, Andrew, I'm gonna go check on what my wife's doing. I'm gonna pop off for a little bit
too, because I have to get up early in the morning.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming. This was really nice to have you on, Joyce. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
I was so happy to see Janice. I love Janice.
It's great to see you, Ben. Wacky.
Good to see you.
Thank you for having me up. That was awesome.
Thanks for letting me know you're a veteran, and now I can officially say thank you for serving, Janice.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ben.
I am able to see you guys. It's like I thought when it came on foggy tonight that my computer wasn't working because I've been having a lot of problems with it. And I've actually been offline because of it. But I got it working again. So here I sit. And thanks, guys. I want to say goodnight. I wish everybody in the room a blessed night tonight. Angels on your pillows, guys. Peace out.
Thank you so much, Janice. Thank you for everything, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Everyone in chat, have a good night. I'm going to sign off for a little bit. Andrew, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
It was my pleasure, my friend. You take care.
Yep.
Take care, Janice in Green Bay.
Yep. See you, Ben. Thanks for serving, Ben, also as well.
My pleasure.
And we'll have to acknowledge some of the veterans in our community. There's so many of them. We'll have to make a list. Everyone from Iron Dog to That's How I Roll to just on and on and on. We got Foxy. We got so many veterans. We got to make a list almost.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We got a lot of them. So, all right. See you guys.
All right. I wanted to mention to Nero Trigger there. He says, Cav 7, they give you $300 and dig a hole for that's what you get. Well, actually, for a veteran, they give you $1,700 for a veteran that served. And for Social Security recipients, I think it might be up to $300 now. Yeah, what a joke. $2,000.
It's an insult.
It is, because everyone knows that a funeral costs a hell of a lot more than that. It's close to $9,000-$10,000 now for the average funeral.
100%. 100%. And I really appreciate you sharing your story. And I always like talking with you about that because I can talk to you about, like, in the U.S. service, we can talk about Canada. We also talked about, like, Xenia's family. I mean, all these families have those same stories, those same bonds. And
that's right.
That's so important to remember. I learned a lot being over there with Xenia. Her uncles and all them all had to, because there was forced by the Russian army. You had to serve once you were 18. And they have their own stories and their own, their own battle scars, and seeing their own towns destroyed, like Riga, where she grew up, a city that was demolished during World War II. Never asked to be part of it, never wanted to be part of it, had no vested interest in it, except two governments wanting control of something. It puts it in perspective every time,
Oh, it does. I mean, my dad really never talked about the Vietnam War, and my dad served in Vietnam. And when he came home, I remember just my sister and me talk about this from time to time. We both remember when my mom sat both of us down on the couch. We were living in a mobile home on base. And she sat us both down and said, I just you know, I need to tell you something that's very important. That, you know, Daddy's going to be gone for a long time, and he may not come home. Well, at that time, we really didn't understand what was going on. I mean, it was 1970 when my dad went over from 70 to 71. And, you know, I look back at that today, what my mom said to us when we were just kids, what, you know, now I realize what that actually meant, what the Vietnam War was. And it, it's so different to have that in my mind and replay that. Because I noticed how big that was. At the time, it was a big deal, and today I can look at that, it is a big deal. But I was, one of the lucky ones. My dad came back. My dad came back. Sorry I'm so sensitive about this stuff, but I am, because I do love veterans. They're my brothers and sisters, you know? And so when it comes to stuff like this, it is sensitive to me. It's a big deal to me.
I'm glad he came back too, Ben. I'm glad he came back.
Thank you, Andrew.
It's an awful thing because, you know, there's no winning into it. You know, the scars you come back with, or if you didn't come back at all, there's no winning.
That's right.
And hopefully nobody will ever have to be put in that situation one day again, you know. And yes, I mean, we're right. You know, there's so many advances today. It's not the same war, but it's still a war, and there's still those scars in people's heads.
That's the thing, though, that people don't think about. You know, there's a lot of dads today and a lot of moms that are going over and serving in other countries, you know, in war-torn countries. And, you know, these dads and these moms, there's a certain percentage of them that aren't going to come back. They've got families. They got kids. You know, they might have a newborn. They may not be coming back.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people don't think about that kind of stuff. They really don't.
And not to take away from what Lou Rock said a while ago, I agree with him too. Like, I mean, his grandfathers, I mean, they fought a war with, you know, at the time was, you know, monumental equipment, but by today's standards, I mean, it's amazing. The equipment was so dangerous for some of them. It's, you know, they got killed by their own equipment. Forget even being, you know, shot by enemies.
That's true. Yep.
You know, and that was a very good point. But yeah, we got to take better care of them when they come home. We've got to, or we're gonna have more stories and, you know, more of these scenarios of shootouts and stuff like that. And it's people dealing with awful depression and awful anguish, and it's just they're kind of left to fend for themselves when they get back, and it's not right. It's not the way to treat. It's not the way to treat somebody like that. They need us. They need us to do something about it.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to see where this world takes us, right?
Yeah.
And try to put our best foot forward, try to remind people what happened. And hopefully at some point, maybe it might click in some heads that it shouldn't happen again. And then we do thank you very much for your service, Ben.
My pleasure to have served. And I'll tell you, even with the aches and pains I've got now, I would still do it in a heartbeat. If they called me up right now, I'd say, oh, hell yeah. I'll do the best that I can.
Xenia has an uncle. He has these hands. I always say they're like flatfish. They're so big. Big sausage thumbs. Kindest, you know, the kindest man in the world. And when he slaps in the back, it takes the wind out of you.
Kind of like a Haas Cartwright.
Yes, that's right. 100%. And I love him to peel his pieces. His name is Velis. We don't speak a word. He doesn't speak any English. I don't speak any Latvian. And I love him more than life itself. We have great conversations. We figured it out. And Xenia was translating for me. And he joined the Freedom Fighter Brigade, kind of, I guess you'd call it in English, when Latvia was trying to separate and get its independence back from Russia. And when she asked him, would you do it again? His eyes became diamonds. One of the few times I ever seen pure, utter anger in his eyes. And he went over to the closet and grabbed out. And you could tell the suit is 3 sizes now too small for him. And he said to her, and she translated, he said, with every breath in my body, nobody will take this country again, and just shot it at me like that.
Wow.
That's somebody who's really seen their loss of freedom.
Yeah.
that's something we can't replicate. You can never replicate that. You would never want to, but you can learn from it. What it's like when your country's taken away from you and you get it back. You really do appreciate every little thing that comes into this world. Because
You know, my brother that was here a couple days ago, he has a second house that he owns, and the government of Germany was bringing all the refugees in from Syria and other countries over there that are in the war. So my brother opened up his home, his other home, and took in seven refugees two, let's see, 3 years ago.
wow.
You know, I was over there for the first time to meet them, and I got to actually meet these seven refugees from the Middle East. And only one of them out of the seven, he must have been the leader of the group, but he kind of told me what was going on and why they were here and how long uh, it took to get, you know, to freedom in Germany. You know, it was literally hundreds upon hundreds of miles into thousands of kilometers, you know, to get where they got from the war. And it just to hear that, even with broken English, I could still get the gist of what it was like for this young man to see what he saw. All of his relatives were dead. They're all gone. He has no one. He was by himself.
Yep.
And a lot of them are like that. They, you know, all their families are killed, and then they come in this huge long train of people that are going miles and miles across borders of other countries to be at a place where there is no war.
That's right.
It's hard to hear. I mean, and I can appreciate that. I certainly appreciate the freedoms that I got after I hear a story like he had to share with me, you know?
Wow. That's
I can't imagine, you know, having nothing.
Mhm.
All you got is your clothes on your back. That's it. That's all you've got.
What
Everything else is gone. No family, no memories, no memorabilia that you can take. Nothing.
Yep. You're empty.
Man, I just
It's
can't imagine it.
it's easy to sit back at the TV and get angry and say something, but yeah, I mean, on the other side, it's you're not in that position, and they're not
Yeah.
leaving. You know, I don't know. That's such a. Would you want your kids living in that? Would you want, would you want your family living in that? No, you wouldn't want them in that kind of a disaster. Nobody would. We would be fleeing too. I mean, and I'm not trying to make this political by any sense of the word. We're just talking human right now. Nothing to do with politics.
Oh, exactly. Right.
One human to another, a bit of compassion. I see poor people coming in. I used to see it at the airport. I mean, can you imagine leaving the Middle East and ending up in Montreal in January and it's minus 40 Celsius and you get off? It's not, you just didn't show up there like that because you wanted to be. It's because you had nowhere left to go.
Oh, that's right.
But thank you to everyone who serves. I love seeing that so many people saying that, sharing their stories. Story of Dory, my father passed away because of the slow care in the VA hospital. Veterans Reserve, much better. USAF 1965 to 1977. Thank you very much, Story of Dory, to your dad for his service. To each and every one of you guys. And it's heartwarming to see you guys sharing all these stories. And
I can go back to 1991 when I got out of the service, and back then I've been to a lot of VA hospitals since serving, and back then in 1991 I went to Fort Harrison VA Medical Center in Montana. That's the only VA hospital on the western side of the state. There's a total of two of them. Montana happens to be the fourth largest state, so if you can imagine only having two hospitals with 147,000 square miles of land. And either you drove there, which would take hours to get to one of those two VA medical centers. At the time, everything was still paperwork. Nothing was on computer. Hard to believe. They were still doing everything by handwritten.
unreal.
And it was just until recently that they started putting things on computer. Can you believe that, man? They just started here a few years back putting everything on computer.
Like it's
That's how far they're behind. That's the backlog of all these veterans that are trying to get on disability because they deserve to be on it.
Yep. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. None. You know, Newfoundland at the time of World War II, it was still foreign land because it was part of England at the time. And they got put in the biggest battles, same as Canada, because we fought under the UK. We did a lot of the battles that we don't even get the full recognition for. Our guys got shoved to the front of the line. The British were at the back. We got put into the trenches. We were the ones that were kind of more disposable, if you will.
Right.
Newfoundland's first battle, they lost 10% of their male population in one battle. They weren't prepared, thrown to the front lines. And in one day, that whole area, that whole island lost 10% of its boys' population, and they never got it back to this day. The numbers have never caught up.
Wow.
Because of that. You know? It's we served in all the wars side by side. We did all of them. We did all through Normandy. We stormed the beaches that day. I mean, with alongside the U.S. And we're a small country, like I say. You know, even today, we're only the size of California. We're huge landmass wise.
Right.
The population were small. It was huge hits. And the numbers don't look big, maybe compared to like the U.S. because it's. But if you do it per capita, we took a lot of hits. We all felt that punch from it. Our countries all suffered from it.
That's right. That's right.
My cousins and that are in the. I was hoping to have him on tonight. I tried to message him. He serves still with the. Actually, sorry, he just left. Excuse me, 4 months ago after 27 years. I think he did service.
Wow.
Yep. And
that's respectable. That's definitely respectable.
Yep. He served. He did all of his tours and volunteered for tours as well. Even Vietnam. Yes, Canada didn't partake into it, but there was lots of our soldiers actually volunteered and went in through the U.S. and served in Vietnam as well.
You know, I know that a lot of men and women who signed up for the military, they wanted to go in for career because they knew that the benefits would outweigh the negativity, I suppose, for lack of better words. But my dad put in 20 years, and thank God he did, because he got that retirement every month. And if Dad wouldn't have had that retirement, there's no way that Mom and Dad would have been able to make it. They were too old to work. Mom was disabled. So, you know, thank God, Dad. Who would have guessed in 75 when he retired that somehow that, you know, that pension, that retirement would help them make it, you know, until their dying days. Because nowadays, I mean, and I don't want to make this, you know, a major topic or anything like that, but nowadays, people that are retired on Social Security, maybe Social Security disability, there's no way you can make it. There is no way you can make it on a Social Security check. And with all prices rising on everything around you, you know, I feel sorry for these senior citizens and people who are disabled that are struggling. They can't live on their own. They got to live with a relative or a friend. You know, it's tough times. It's really tough. There's no way you can make it living off of Social Security.
No, it's forsaking all those years you put into your country and then just being a castaway when it's said and done.
Well, you know, I feel for those people that, you know, have worked 20, 30, 40, 50 years of their life. I mean, hard work. You know, a lot of these people, you know, from working in mines and factories, back busting work and you know, they give you a mild little pay. Well, here's $700 a month. Oh, well, geez, thanks. You know, I worked for 40 years and this is what I get for $700 a month. Are you kidding me?
Yep. It's disgraceful. Like I say, you think they would be in a better position by now, but it's just even more blind to the whole thing.
Well, all that extra money that, you know, could have went for Social Security recipients, people that should be retiring nowadays, because there once used to be a time where people used to work to the age of 62, 65, and you look forward to your life of retirement. Well, now that's impossible. There's no way anyone can retire. But if they took some of that money, just some of that money that they pour into the government or to the military, and I'm saying this as a veteran, if they just take some of that, a portion of that, and throw it back to the people, you know, that busted their asses, you know, in these civilian jobs, and people can retire again. I just
it is. It's 100%. You nailed it. And what's the fix? Well, nobody seems to want to listen to it anyways. They don't want to do anything about it. They just want to pretend it doesn't happen.
Well, it's like these young kids nowadays. They don't think about anything like that. They don't have a future of retirement. There is no such thing. It's gone.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work until you're dead.
Pretty much. Pretty much. That's the truth. You're going to have a sideline job pretty much till you're in the care of a home where at the end where you can't function anymore. Most of your
I've got a very good friend of mine. He owns a lumber yard, and down in Virginia, and his house is right on the lumber yard. He built his business on his own. Took a lot of years, but he accomplished it. And he figured, well, now that the lumber yard's paid off, the house is paid off, we're going to be able to make ends meet and just enjoy a retirement because it's his own personal business. Well, nope, it's not true. His wife ended up coming down with Lyme's disease.
Yeah.
And one pill for Lyme's disease is $100, just one pill, what Linda has to take, okay? So because of that, and he loves his wife a whole bunch with all his life, he has to work full-time driving a school bus. The guy is 70 years old. He's 70 years old, and he's still having to drive a damn school bus just so he can pay for the insurance for the medication for his wife. Now, that's pretty sick. This guy that had dreams, that him and his wife would be well off for the rest of their lives because of his own business. Nope. He has to actually work a full-time job driving a school bus. That's sick, man.
Makes you sick. I just wanted to, the simple joys when I was talking a while ago about Newfoundland. They says, yes, same in Australia, Puša Studios, massive numbers compared to the respective population, the whole young male population in some towns. Yep, that's right. The list of every memorial stand right across the whole country are huge. This is stretch on and on, up and down every part of the nation. Yep. Takes a lot of people, but
you find people, my age, 40s on up, talking about this kind of realistic stuff. Anyone below that age doesn't really talk about it so much. I mean, because they still got their lives ahead of them. But it's people are 40s on up that can kind of relate to everything that I'm talking about right now because we're all going to be old one day. If we're fortunate enough to make it to that. I mean, Jenny Marceth said, her dad is 70, going to be 71 in January.
Yeah.
We're all getting there. We're all getting there. And what is there to look forward to at our age? It's like everything's been stripped from us.
Vince Landy's fellow Montreal, he says, yep, my dad's been an engineer for 50 years and he's going to die working. He can't retire anymore. Spoke to him 2 weeks ago and he cried for the first time in 20 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's awful. It's awful. Like, because Arizona Timeless says years ago pensions were good. My grandfather retired from Ohio Bell Phone Company after 30 years and lived comfortably until he passed. That's why the whole work mentality has changed. I mean, same as my parents. They could have I'm going to work for Bell Canada or I'm going to work for this. There was those pensions. Those don't exist anymore.
That's right.
And it's not going to exist. It's as simple as that. We're all having to learn how to work multiple jobs and no security into it. You're kind of at the seat of your pants and hoping on a whim and a prayer you can put away enough. Well, most people are banking now on their parents' their inheritance from their parents and stuff is their only chance of putting anything away. So and some aren't all bad people. Some of them are put in the position they're in such bad hopes that eventually that's probably only their saving grace to have any money when everything is gone. And then their parents aren't enjoying their life because they're trying to keep it because they don't want their kids to get stuck and they're not enjoying the retirement years.
Your slice to happiness just happened to pop in the room.
I've seen that. Douglas Fairchild, what's going on? Actually, we've been talking. If you don't mind, I was going to ask Douglas, you want to come up for a few minutes?
Yes.
I can tweet you the link if you'd like to come up. I'd love to have you. My guilty pleasure, Douglas.
Yeah, your guilty pleasure. That's right.
I'll even try and get some cookies.
Good luck.
I know he usually goes to bed around this time. I'm surprised to see him drop in. He must have just finished his live, but I thought I'd throw it out there to him. What did Dave say? Is Dave going on after? Did you say? Oh, he said okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Have you ever had Douglas up on your panel before?
Douglas and I have talked many times, but never face to face.
Wow, cool.
I am blown away. Wow. Okay, guys. We got Douglas Fairchild coming. I'm going to tweet it to you, Doug. There we go. I'll just be a second, and you'll have the link. I'm pleasantly surprised. I've been wanting to get dug up for a long, long time.
I like this. City Girl Country Heart said, my son is 12 years old. Told me yesterday that he, when he grows up, he wants a house big enough for me and his sister, too. He's scared if he moves out on his own, I have a seizure. His sister couldn't help me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Lots
tough.
of people have to deal with stuff. You know what? Basic things. You know, we're not talking about a mansion. We're not talking about anything over the top. We're talking about basic.
It's a 12-year-old kid saying this, though. Wow, what a mind. I mean, that's pretty cool that he has a heart big enough to think that way.
Yep. Heavy Metal Mag says, I'm back. Unfortunately, I want to smoke. I need to leave the cancer treatment facility. I think they frown upon that. Yeah, pretty much. I know he put it with kind of a semi-joking thing.
Actually, I know a couple of people that have cancer that still smoke.
Yeah.
I do. Hey, we're all human. We're all human.
Welcome, Douglas Fairchild.
Wow. Hey, Douglas.
I can't believe this in the flesh.
Oh.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Excellent.
You want some cookies?
Wow.
I've been waiting a long time to hear that. And I want to tell you something. I want to tell you to take your cookies and shove them. No, I'm just glad to see you.
I'm supposed to make you want to go out and buy these damn things.
Hey, Douglas, I want you to know that from now on, now that Puja's got or Andrew's gotten you up on his panel, all the times that he misses you and all that, all he's got to do is come back to this live stream of his and watch this part. And that'll satisfy his needs.
I'm a little starstruck right now. I don't know what to say. How you doing, Doug?
I'm good. Yeah, I just ended my stream a little while ago.
That's what I figured. I was going to message you a while ago, but we kind of went on impromptu, and I was like, I should ask Doug. And then we were talking about service and veterans tonight, because tomorrow is with Remembrance Day and everything here, and Veterans Day coming up in the United States.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you could join us for a few minutes. This is nice.
Yeah, no problem.
How's your mom doing today?
I don't usually go to bed right away. I usually just edit some videos and do some stuff before I go to bed. But
I've told you what I think you do once the stream is over, but you didn't say it. So
horrible.
You and I laugh so much. Xenia drives her crazy. She has to come out of the bedroom sometimes and tell me to key it down a little. I love your streams. That's my way to burn off the day's bad, especially if I had a really bad day. That's where I go. That's my therapy, is Doug's channel.
Yeah, I tell people it's for me to have some fun too, because I deal with my mom all day. So when she goes to bed, I have to have some fun, blow off some steam. Yeah.
Can you tell everybody a little bit about it? I mean, you don't have to go into all the details, but you spend most of your day is basically taking care of your mom. Yeah,
she has dementia, and she's wheelchair bound. So I do everything for her. I clean her, I feed her, I give her medications. I make sure she does activities during the day to keep her mind kind of going. I make sure she eats, and then I put her to bed in the evening. And then at about 10:30, I jump online and do a live.
Because you definitely need it by then. I can even see it in you. Sometimes when you first come on, you're always fun, but you look like you look drained and not.
That's
it's a big job taking care of.
It's a long day, yeah.
But you take it in stride. You always find a way. You're so good to her, and I always, you're so compassionate to her, because that's not an easy job.
No.
See,
I always try to find fun things to do. I found we've been doing finger paints.
Okay.
The color all the time, but she doesn't like to hold the pencils anymore. So I decided to look into other stuff for her to do. Now we've been finger painting.
Well, that's awesome. How old is your mom?
She's 79.
Oh God, that's
I heard you guys talking about pensions. My mom gets a pension from the hospital that she worked at, but it's not very much.
No, does it cover the costs, do you feel, or is it just enough to get by, not enough to get by?
It's just enough to get by. Yeah.
I wanted to say there that the best nursing home a parent could ever have is their family. That's just my belief. But it takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of heart to take on something like that. I mean, it's very difficult. It's not an easy job taking care of your parent or taking care of a sibling. And I can certainly appreciate those that have a big heart to take on that responsibility and what you're doing there, Mr. Fairchild. You know, a lot of respect to you.
I get her laughing all the time.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
All I have to do is stand at the other end of the house and yell cookies, and I can hear her laughing.
That's a good thing.
I got a question for you already, Doug, from Heavy Metal Magnet. He's asking how's the kitties?
Oh, they're doing good. They're all doing good. Most of them spend the only cat that stays in my room with me is Zach, and all the rest of them sleep on my mom when she's sleeping. So it's like they desert me. I'm like,
They enjoy her though. Like, does she enjoy the cats around? Like,
yeah, she likes having them. They like to protect her, watch over her at night.
That's awesome.
It's just one that hangs out with me.
A good company though. Always climbing up in your lap when you're trying to live stream and everything.
Yeah.
Brush your face, smack you, eat your cookies, push them on the floor. It's like, damn it.
I haven't got to see any of your videos in a little bit. I feel bad. I got to go back and catch them. I always, if I see one of them, then Xenia has to bake. So maybe she's got you blocked. I don't know.
I've been sometimes it gets really hard getting videos up, but I always try to live stream. I always try to do that.
You almost never miss a night. A couple of weeks ago, you were off for one night. That's the first time you came, I think, to our live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been, I'm glad you're here. I'm happy that you get to come over and stuff like that. So I know you're gonna kick it of Xenia now. You're always saying.
Okay, you're funny as that.
Like the night she tried to put my glasses back on and stab me in the eye with them, and
the other time she stuck in the ear.
The ear, and then it went to the eye a week later. She was covering all the orifices. Yeah.
That was good fun.
You know, when I was on your live stream, I think it was last night that you were all having that fun. But I watched you there, Doug, and to see you laugh, I mean, it was a grand laugh because you know what they were saying in the chat, you couldn't stop laughing, man. And it was good to see you doing that.
People say you're too happy, and I said, well, there's no fun out of being a damn ass drought, so why not?
There we go. That's right. That's right.
I love it.
I think we feed off your laugh too. That's why.
I have a lot of people that come into my room that say that they just enjoy hearing me laugh. That's crazy. I've never heard of that before, but that's.
Did I not say that to you there, Andrew? I told you tonight. I said it's his laugh. When he starts laughing, it gets me laughing.
That's right. That's right. It's contagious. It is. I'm telling you. I've seen myself go into some pretty bad moods when I went into your channel, like I want therapy now type of attitude. And within 3 minutes, you got me like laughing my head off, and I love it. So
what makes me laugh is you smoke all the damn time on your lives, and then you come into my room and you say, that smoking makes me disgusted.
Yeah. Love what you're doing, Doug, but can you ease back on the cigarettes? That kind of puts me out a bit.
That makes me laugh. It's like smack.
Yeah, I'm pretty good for being two-faced. Yeah, no.
My brother's in here watching me sometimes, and I think you said that once, and he goes, they don't like it when you smoke. And I said, don't listen to that. Son of a, he smokes all the damn time.
I'm a good shit disturber. That's kind of my pastime with you. And is Dish Outdoors with us tonight? In case I got to say hi to her. This Dish Outdoors, she comes in and she's always in Doug's channel. She come over a couple of times and we must have missed her. So she was going on about how I don't say hi. So now I hit her with all the emojis and it usually comes up 10 to 12 times. Holds up the chat for 3 minutes. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They're a good group of people though, like Clyde and Zach and all those guys. And that I just
the one that gets me laughing all the time, sending me funny pictures on my phone. That little snot.
They're always there to
stop laughing.
Oh, since you're here, hang on 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I got something for you actually. and even make the
I
special.
want to say something real quick here. The story of Dory said, I'm taking care of my mother, not to the extent Douglas is, because my mother can physically tend to herself, but it is she is housebound due to severe COPD. I have mad respect for Douglas.
Nice. I think they bring that a lot. People feel, a lot of people are going through stuff and they feel alone, especially in those situations. And I think it's nice when people find other people going through it. It's a bit of a comfort to know that you're not the only one struggling with these things, because it is hard. You're very good with your mom, but it's a hard job.
Right?
Oh yeah. But I was happy that when she came out of the hospital and she came back home, for about 3 months, they gave me nurses for about 3 months to come and help me, to show me how to, do things with her, like put her in bed, take her out of bed, wash her, things like that. And that stuff really helps.
No,
We'll help you do that, show you that stuff. And I've got like several numbers that if there's any questions I ever need, I can just call and they'll help me over the phone with anything I need.
That's cool.
Did you live with your mom before she got ill, or did you move in because she got ill?
I moved in.
Yeah. It's pretty noble. I do tip my hat to you, my friend. We laugh a lot, we joke a lot, but we love what you do. But guys, we got to raise some money for Douglas, and I'm going to show you something right here, right now. And I got on the echo for this one because this one's important. If you've never seen Doug's Zazzle page, it is full of hot-looking, trendy clothing and some hot models. There you go. If you'd like to get your shirt draped in Douglas's image, just head on over to his Zazzle page.
Oh my word! You and the freaking Bill Clinton and that other guy.
I was just trying to help you get you some better models to really show off your wares. So don't forget to check out Doug's Zazzle page, folks.
Yeah, you come up with that freaking junk I don't even sell, and people are like, "You can sell that on Zazzle." And you blame Pusa for that. The rectal thermometer and all their stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't know they sold that on Zazzle. No.
I'm pretty good at starting stuff like that, then walking away. It's like grandchildren. Yeah. I get to have fun and then send them home. There you go. And if you want the Douglas Fairchild rectal thermometer, folks, at the low price of $924.
Blame him for that.
Wow.
No stuff.
I just try to help out the ones I love. That's what I'm here for. So
crazy.
Hence why when I found your channel, I kind of felt about like I found a new home. Finally found a place where I could use my talents for good. So what was it? We were talking about growing up. They were talking about the military and all their lives. And what about you? Anything you can tell us about growing up? What you did? I don't know that much about your past. I don't know if you want to share anything. Is there anything you would like to share?
My father was in the military. My father was in the Air Force. He used to fix the planes.
Mm.
And my brother was in the Air Force, and he was telecommunications. I got a lot of aunts and uncles that were in the Marines, or uncles mainly, but yeah. So I have military in the family. I've got police officers in the family. A lot of that service stuff,
Really? Like your brother the other night that was there with you?
No. I'm talking about, I've got another brother that lives up north. He was in the Air Force. The brother that sits on the sidelines on my chat and doesn't say anything, he's the one that went to college to be a baker. He's the one that makes all my cookies for me.
Oh, he's the baker one of the family.
Yeah.
Man, they look good. He must have graduated with top honors for those.
Yeah. I gotta ask you there, Doug. I've known you for a couple of years now. We've been back and forth over the years. Mm-hmm. I'm curious. How old are you, man?
Oh yeah, I went gray early. I'm 48.
Oh, you're still young.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I was the first one in my family to go all gray like this.
Wow. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. You've earned those gray hair. You've earned
old, but I don't care.
right, same here. Doesn't bother me in the least. I'm 44, gray, and so be it. I've earned them. I got 3 kids that gave me most of them.
Yeah, I think gray is beautiful, and I don't care what no one says.
100%. My wife finds it sexy, so I'm good. She's happy with it. I don't care what anybody else thinks. So.
That's right.
Nah, I don't. I've seen people try to color it, and I mean, to each their own. If it really bothers you that much and you have to do something and you deserve to be happy. For me, I just never found any kind of dye on a man ever looked normal, natural. It was hard to pull off, and I'd rather wear it as a, you know.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine who's 51 years old, same age as Dave, coincidentally, and the guy does not want to get old, and he gets that Menon hair coloring. Yeah. And he got his hair colored, right? He got his beard colored and his mustache. There was one thing he forgot, his eyebrows.
Oh.
So he goes out in public and he doesn't even realize. It's like, damn, it's so damn noticeable. How did you not notice that? The only thing gray on his head are these 2 eyebrows, man. It's just like you look like a freaking idiot. Oh,
especially if the rest all died, it makes them stand out like a neon sign.
He doesn't want to get old. He doesn't want the ladies seeing him as an old guy. And I said, you're not old. You're middle-aged. What's wrong with that? Most of us are. We're all middle-aged. Embrace the gray. Embrace the gray.
Definitely. Look at these 3 handsome men sitting up here right now, sporting the gray look. Well, just looking at Doug when I said handsome, he went numb.
No. Kind of like deer in the headlights.
There, Philip Cochran says I'm an old gray guy. No, you're not old. God. Same as Ben with these. Oh, I remember back in
that magical word. I will say it.
Yeah, the fucking Lincoln era talk. There, you're 54. You talk like you're 217. You're not old.
That's because most people think I am 217.
God, it's like the 4.7 years ago talk, you know.
Oh, shit.
Drives me crazy.
I know it does. Face your future there, Andrew.
Oh, I don't mind. I'm good with it. It's yours that's driving me crazy. You're not old. Can't stress that enough. So where did you grow up, Doug?
I grew up in upstate New York, a town called Cortland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How far is that from Utica?
I have no clue. I'd have to look on a map.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because that's up in upstate New York, Utica.
I've heard of Utica.
That's where all my relatives live is Utica, New York, Floyd, New York, Buffalo, Rome. They all up there.
I didn't. I never knew that. There, I learned something new about you.
I moved down here to North Carolina back in 2000 because my mom wanted to be closer to her sister.
Oh, that's why you got back there. So you didn't have any roots before that there except for your sister. Wow.
My mom wanted to be closer to her sister. Yeah, my aunt. So.
And did it bother you to move, or were you just?
I didn't care either way.
Yeah. That's what I kind of figured you were saying.
Sure, let's go. Pack it up. I don't care.
Well,
like we had any special ties to stay there.
I'm sure your mom really appreciate. I'm sure your family appreciate you doing it as well. I mean, it's a full-time job and then some.
Oh yeah.
Well,
my sister comes by and gives me relief every once in a while. Like I got to get away today and do some stuff.
Well, you need that. You gotta have that break. That is so important to keep your sanity together, and not just for you, for your mom as well. So you're on your game when you're with her and helping her. It's pretty commendable.
She doesn't remember my name or anything anymore, but she remembers my face.
Okay.
So if a lot of people are like she's upset, we can't understand it. I just show her my face and she smiles. So I'm like, she's all good. You can go get
That's cool.
And that it doesn't bother you?
If she doesn't remember my name?
Yeah.
No. because she remembers what I look like, so I know she knows who I am.
Right. It's got to be a bit tough though by times. Like for you, like I mean, when it's your mom and she like and doesn't know you as son, like.
I don't know. I mean, I'm all right with it. I mean, I figured she still remembers what I look like. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you don't really miss it when your mother nagged at you, did you? Dog it, get over here. Come on.
You have like the best outlook in life. I think Ben's thinking the same thing too. I see him nodding and smiling. I mean,
now she can't say that no more, So I know she's thinking it. I see her eyes, and it's like, I know what you're thinking. Don't you dare.
Oh, look who come back.
Oh man.
Oh man.
You got Douglas up here. I had to say hi.
Definitely.
Greenbay the
Cookie!
Craziness.
This is like old Holmes YouTube week here. We got everybody up there, all the old timers of YouTube together in one panel. You guys have all been in it for a while.
Now, are you on the same stream? Are we on the same one that I was on earlier?
Yeah, we're still on. We're still going.
Okay.
Dave, let me fill you in on some etiquette, okay?
Yeah.
Never ask if a person's on the same stream.
Oh,
now, okay, listen, you were able to get on the stream using the link, correct?
Yeah.
Now, with every live stream that you start, it has its own individual link.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yeah.
do you understand?
No, you know what I actually thought it was when I looked at it? I thought it was a room a new room. I didn't know it was the live stream.
Oh,
I thought it was a Cab 7 Douglas. Anyway, never mind. When I looked at it, let me look at it again.
Hey, Dave, I got one song to sing to you.
Yeah.
Oh, tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Listen, you got to tie ribbons around trees so you know how to get back, okay?
It looks like a hangout room. I didn't know it was the Puša room.
It's pretty much a hangout room.
Well, I know, but I mean, it didn't say. Never mind. I thought it was Cab 7's room, like with Douglas.
Why would it be my room?
I thought you made a room with Douglas.
No.
I don't know.
Well, Doug, I hope you're enjoying Amos and Andy here. Their stick.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. And what's his name is the catcher. You know, Ben, we should do that routine sometime. We should memorize it and do it for
I can just picture it. You'd be 2 lines into it. It's all going to get screwed up, and then Ben's going to give you shit for 10 minutes. Dave, now let me tell you something. It's going to be one of those talks.
I delivered my line properly. You're the one that screwed it up.
Yeah. So basically, I'm saying please do it because I'd like to see the blowout.
I'm loving this. Tammy Mendez says Tony Orlando and Don just that little piece of yellow ribbon around the old. It's already saying who sung it. It's like a trivia.
Wow. So how are you doing, Douglas?
What's that? No. What'd you say?
I said, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just hanging out, listening, watching, talking.
So quiet.
I said, listening, watching, talking, eating cookies.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute.
Oh no, he's gonna get some cookies now. I know he is. Let's see. City Girl, Country Girl said typical stream with Puša Studios, Cab 7, and Greenbay Wacky. Yeah, that's about true. That's about true. But I think it's pretty. Whoa.
Way cheaper than the Girl Scouts. I just tipped them now.
Oh,
No.
man.
Just kidding. We buy from the Girl Scouts.
Oh, you.
Cookie, mint, chocolate.
Mine are better.
Ooh.
More.
Yeah, I think I like it, Douglas's cookies. It looks like they got more beef to them than yours. I don't know what the hell. That's a wafer. The hell? Look at that. Look at that. Look at it. Oh, wow. Nice. Beautiful.
He reminds me of my grandma's old dog. That's funny.
Exactly. You said it before I did.
Well, they mint wafer cookies?
Yeah, like the Girl Scout ones.
Oh, Girl Scout, okay.
Yeah, you know, it's really minty, chocolatey ones.
That cost you, just out of curiosity, that one package of cookies?
These are like $2 or less at Walmart.
Girl Scout cookies over at Walmart?
They're the same cookie, but they're the, Walmart.
But they don't say Girl Scouts on them, do
No,
they?
the Girl Scouts would charge me like $5-6 for these.
I was going to say, they're like $5 or $6 a box now.
Yeah, and they get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a ton of them in here. There's a lot of weight to this. It'd be about a third of this at the Girl Scouts.
It's called inflation.
Well, 2 cookies would be
Yeah,
$19.90.
just go by the Girl Scouts. Say, no, I don't want any cookies. Here's $3. It's a tip. Just keep it.
Hey, Doug, I went to get something. I wanted to ask you something.
Mhm.
White bread. White bread. You want some white bread? White bread. You know, I got white bread because they ate all my fucking cookies. That's why.
Oh, man. Get a sugar high.
Jesus. Can't keep anything. So that's all I got to offer to the game.
You got to buy it safe and stick it.
The kids
And
are
put
figuring out truffles. They can figure a cookie out anywhere in this house.
Wow.
Mizrahi says they're $10 a box out where you live.
Yeah.
$10.
Heavy Metal Magnet says, "Is this a Viagra commercial? LOL, 4 old guys and some cookies."
Heavy Metal Magnet still here?
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Pretty girl, Country Heart. Hello.
Vince Land says Puša finally curses. Go on over to Douglas Fairchild's channel and see how that is.
Well, check this out. The neighbor girl, we just got our stuff delivered. It was, something similar to the Girl Scouts or some, kid thing. We got 4 cinnamon rolls and 1 little packet of some raisins, and it was $20.
Holy
Crap.
wow.
That's pretty insane.
Jeez.
Well, what are you supposed to do? The neighbor girl knocks on the door with her mom. What are you going to say? Nah, I don't want to buy any.
Yeah, kind of.
Then you're looking through there for something cheap. It's like $20 the cheapest.
$20. Wow.
But I gotta admit, they were good cinnamon rolls. But if you minus the raisins out, let's throw the raisins a $4 price tag, which is being generous. That means each one of those cinnamon rolls was like $4, $5.
Dave, if I will pay $20 if those 4 cinnamon rolls are the size of a dinner plate, okay?
They were small.
Gee.
But here's the good news. We looked like superstars with the mom and the kid in the neighborhood. So
True enough.
But those companies, I gotta admit, because I've raised all my kids, from wrapping paper to all that stuff, and they don't need a sales force. They just get the contract with the school, and then they put the pressure on the kids.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my goodness!
When my sister started Girl Scouts, and she had to go and sell those Girl Scout cookies. Now this is back in the mid-'70s. Girl Scout cookies were 50 cents a box.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I wish.
Yeah.
Now, also they wanted to stop the Girl Scouts from going door to door to sell them. You heard that, right? Because they don't have permits.
Yeah.
You need permits for that?
They want the Girl Scouts. Are you sick? Come on. Really?
Well, here, and it's pretty much that bad. Not all Canada, but Quebec is really that bad pretty much for that kind of stuff. You have to play music on street corners. You have to be unionized. They pay like $50 a year, and they got their spots where they can play. If you're not playing in there, you can be ticketed.
Holy heck.
Yep.
It's like those people that come and sell those coupon books for 10%, 20% off of restaurants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so you're going, oh, wow, that sounds like a good deal. Yeah, I'm going to take one of those.
Yeah.
You spend $20 for this book with all these coupons, and you start looking through there. I want to go out to a restaurant tonight. And you look at these restaurants going, Not one of these damn restaurants is even in my damn town. I got to drive to the next state to get to one.
Wow.
I remember that shit.
That's messed up.
My father would take that book out in the backyard and shoot it with a shotgun.
Damn right. You're damn right.
Piece of shit.
I was hoping Dish would follow you over. I was so hoping she'd be here tonight. Dish Outdoors. She is one of the funniest people I've ever met. I've seen some of her videos, and she is just she got in an argument with one channel, and she went out and she does this video where she goes out like she's hunting. She's like, "Yeah, I can smell it. Yeah, this smells like shit, all right." And she's chasing around the woods for about 5 minutes, and then finally she goes into some mug that came from this group she used to belong to and starts firing at it. It was the funniest thing I ever seen. I watched it like 5 times in a row. I didn't think it was going to end that way. But yeah, she's seen it through, so I give her credit for her commitment to the joke.
I always ask, so what's everybody's favorite cookie?
Ones that have sugar. Sugar.
So basically just a cookie and you pour a bag of sugar on it, you eat it?
Yeah, exactly.
No, my favorite cookie we make, my daughter makes them. Talking about sugar high. Monster cookies. The ones with M&M's, oatmeal, you know, all that.
Yeah.
Chocolate chips, and they're like ginormous, you know. Monster cookies.
Oh, very good.
That sounds amazing.
Well, you know, since it's always within reach, peanut butter cookies are my favorite.
Oh.
And I like Fig Newtons, those weird ones.
Get back here in my cookie stash for you there, Cam.
Okay.
Butter cookies, bud.
Oh, awesome.
I think one of my all-time favorite cookies, I love the little sugar wafers, you know, that has that kind of stuff in the middle, and they're all flaky.
Oh, yeah.
I can eat a whole box of those, like all in one sitting.
Hey, Dave, let me show you something.
Yeah.
Check that shit out.
What do you got? That's Fig Newtons. Yeah, I love those.
That's Big Newtons.
But are they strawberry or original?
I don't like those fake color dyed shit. I want the real thing.
Check this shit out.
Whoa.
Wow. 2 pieces of freaking bread.
Lucky Ben got bread.
Bread.
He's
Put some chocolate syrup on it. Cut it into a cookie.
Bread.
There's nothing to put on it.
2 pieces of bread. He's kicking our cookie butt.
I think my favorite is double fudge or double fudgio.
Oh, good.
I love homemade. Xenia makes a lot. Actually, your peanut butter cookies are the same as my mom. The famous fork both ways onto it and that.
Wait, I was just thinking I could do it like a Kiss song. Remember, I Want You? Right? Remember that song?
Yeah.
I want you. So we go, I want bread. You can run, you can hide, but you never get away. I want bread.
I can't even get that excited about bread to sing the song. I wish, but I'm gonna have a talk with them tomorrow. The night I have Douglas Fairchild on, I got no cookies. Not stressed. I feel like I failed.
Sugar wafers, yeah. Tammy Minda's got sugar wafers, yeah.
Oh, the sugar wafers, like the pink ones and the yellow ones. Oh my God, the chocolate ones. Oh.
Yep. But you got to get the real ones, not the sugar-free ones.
Yeah.
I'll eat either one of them. It doesn't matter. I'd love the shit out of those damn things.
I bet you do. I don't want to know about that, but oh my goodness.
Well, I know we all love cookies, but we especially love Doug Zazzle's brand shirts that we're pitching tonight for the low price of $695.
Wow.
If you pay $750, you don't get the models with it.
That price is because I have to pay those models to wear my clothes.
That's right. He usually goes for the Cabana Boy.
Guys, let's sell it. Let's sell it. Only $695 for these high-quality shirts from Donald Trump in North Korea. That's right. Only $695 gets you a piece of history and a hospital missile launch code.
The shirts that brought peace to a world.
Because as a special bonus tonight, we've armed one of these with 2 missile codes. That's right. 2. You could be the lucky owner of 2 missile codes. That's right.
Well, I'm glad to have the help because I feel like I'm the only one sometimes pushing Douglas's Zazzle stuff.
All right, I gotta leave again. I gotta go talk to my wife.
All right, you take.
Oh man,
Yeah, I love you guys in the chat. Just so you know, I was here for an hour before. I was supporting these guys. I love these guys.
It's nice having you.
David, only takes 5 minutes.
Back again. I'm just laughing, guys. Andrew, just shh. Oh, Dave, I think I'm gonna go on for 45 minutes just for fun. Can't do it. It's like 3 hours later.
Are you going on, Dave?
I don't know. I maybe, but now I've been on yours, so maybe that's enough.
It's up to you, 'cause I wanted to know because I was willing to pass on the torch soon if you're going to go on.
No, I'm still doing work. Cleaning my garage, doing stuff. It's a weekend where I got to get this stuff done. So,
do you want to mention before you go anything about what you're working on too? It's up to you.
I'm just working on my kids' stuff, my Boulder Buddies, the stuffed animals, the movie. My website's up and running, but it's kind of bare bones right now. It's not like it doesn't have for sale products yet, but you can, it's getting there. You can go there and just look at it, greenbaywacky.com or theboulderbuddies.com, I'm slowly working it,
Do you have a Boulder Buddy with you?
Oh, do I have one? How many do you need, Steve? These are, I got Roost. I got Punky Rock. I got Parade. I got Parade. And I've got Shiver Me Ankles, matey. And then I've got, hold on. Now this is not it's a box. It's an old box, but I actually have DVDs. But these are some of the original VHS tapes. Can you believe that?
Yeah, he spent a couple $100,000 on that. Like this is
$100,000 and lost my house and proud of it. But what I will tell you, I've got the Parents Television Council seal of approval, a 5-star rating from the Dove Foundation, and we won Best Animation in a Feature Film at the Los Angeles Film Festival.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's amazing what you find out about somebody over time. Yeah, he's revamping it, getting it back online. That's the nice thing about preschool stuff and that. I mean, it's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, Doug, and I could use a copy, I think.
Don't worry. You guys,
don't bring me into this. Nuh-uh.
Don't worry. I'll be getting you guys copies. Don't worry.
I wasn't hinting. I meant we could literally use one. Like
crap.
No, I've just been organizing the inventory, rounding. I've got the basement set up with long tables now.
Nice.
All the boxes. We're kind of just pulling everything back out of storage and just, putting the pencil to paper. Like, what do we have exactly left?
Did I tell you what the crack means in those folding tables, Dave?
No, yeah.
God.
I won't go that way.
I'm still trying to get that out of my head from a while ago.
See, this is what's great. Having a Punky Rock is like having a pet hamster. You can put him you put him up here with you. Hi, Punky. He doesn't talk back either. He's a very good child, He never talks back to you.
Dave, I think you need to take lessons from that Punky there.
Hey, he's cool because he listens to his dad and mom, and that's why he wears sunglasses. But you know what's ironic? I never would have thought that I'd be a live streamer that wears sunglasses when I made him. So
it was a premonition.
So that's what I'm working on. Yeah.
I scared him the other night. I said, "Oh my God, I seen they took your movie already." He thought they copied it. I said, "It's called Boulder Buddies." I said, "I've seen a version on Pornhub." The ad. They were good buddies and they were boulders. All right.
Dave,
it's not a failed story, Dory. It's just that I just didn't get the right marketing deals, so we put it on hold. It's one of those businesses that's paid for that you paid in blood for. I opened up the veins on that one.
He wasn't joking. He's right. $200,000 in his house over.
I had 27 credit cards that I maxed out. I refinanced my house 3 times. One time too many. I spun the roulette wheel.
Dang.
These guys cost me almost 20 grand. It was the most hilarious thing. They came from China, and FedEx showed up. The whole truck was Boulder Buddies. It was one delivery to my house. 8,000 of them, but some of them have been sold and some have been ruined over the years. But I've got a pretty good collection still.
The best piece of advice so this doesn't happen to you again is I want you to take everything you got and invest it only into the VHSs. I think that's where you're going to have the most success right now.
Yeah.
I just want you to get that's my winning advice to you.
No, I've got DVDs. And I paid big bucks for high quality DVDs with like menus and everything.
Look at the time, like 2000, what was it, 2001?
2003. Kind of like the project took between 2001 and 2005. You know, it was kind of it took a while to get the movie made because the guy that made it, you know, I kind of told you that arrangement we had, but he's done work for Pixar. That's how good he is.
Crazy.
But he's one guy, and back then animation wasn't as fast as nowadays. You know, we had to buy dual Xeon computers for rendering. You know, it was like 70 frame per second kind of stuff. And yeah, it turned out good.
Oh, it's a lot. It is. I mean, today what they did then, you can pretty much do on a decent home computer now with Adobe Animation. And you know, but at the time it was a feat, a marvel to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, it's a good message for kids. ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, all that fun stuff. So over time, I'll reveal it more to everyone. You know.
Now, do you think you can make a new Boulder Buddy that has Douglas Fairchild's face in it? Because I would love to buy one if you have it.
Wow. I've got some. There's 30 Boulder Buddies, but we only did 4 in the first movie. That's all we could afford.
Well, Douglas is going to be more expensive. You're going to need more material for the beer.
I'll look through mine. He kind of reminds me of Swirls, the cinnamon roll guy, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe do one of Ben, one of you, one of me. We could kind of be a new series together.
Dave, you should see the lineup that they got over at Pornhub over the Boulder Buddies. Oh man, they are so adorable. They got all of them have PH on the back of them. I mean, you can't beat it. Pornhub, man. I've got 8 of the 37.
They got boulders of all sizes. Do you want to be fair to everybody, not discriminate?
Oh my goodness.
They got the A's, they got the B's.
You didn't hear this, people. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear this. La, 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 la.
And you have to have that home for them that you bought one time, that bra.
Well, actually, one of them does actually have a bra on them, but it does come with a build-yourself dollhouse for all those Boulder Buddies over at Pornhub. It looks just like the castle that Queen Elizabeth lives in.
Do you think we could see that bra? Because that would be like a nice addition to it. Like,
oh my goodness.
All the Boulder Buddies will fit inside just one cup.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that bra that he got, Douglas?
If you want to see a pearl inside a clamshell, hold on.
Yeah, I was hoping he'd go get it.
Just before I leave, though, I'll show you my header page of my website.
There you go, guys. Go visit. Go visit. That's
Nothing's for sale there yet. But you see this guy here, the big costume?
That's crazy.
I really bought this costume from Las Vegas for $1,500.
Oh my God. I thought that was just blown up for it. I didn't realize.
No, I still have him. He needs a good cleaning. What I did was I did parades.
Okay.
I'm going to do a documentary about it. I started rounding up. I used to have a Boulder Mobile truck. I built it. It was a cube van.
Okay.
And I kid you not, you're going to laugh when I tell you this. Here, let me just real quick I'm not trying to take over your live stream, but we're talking about whatever. What I did was I took a cube van, a Ford cube van, like 1990, and I cut the sides out and put 32-inch TVs on each side.
Oh my God.
And I put a 1,000-watt or a 5,000-watt power converter and outdoor speakers on it. And then I got a green emergency light. I've got pictures of it still.
Oh my
and then I wrapped it with decals. I'd drive down the road and do parades with the Boulder Mobile.
Really?
So I'd be playing the movie. I'd be driving along with the TVs playing, and I never got stopped by cops or anything.
Oh my God. That's amazing. I never knew about that.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture of it. It was funny.
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of there, Dave.
Hey, while it lasted, because the outdoor speakers would blast the music of the movie. It kind of reminded me of Mr. Microphone. Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later. I think of that lady like, wow, 3 creepy guys in an old Datsun. I'll be here.
I wonder if the Pornhub version has their van too. Big set of jugs on the front jiggling around on an old Volkswagen Beetle.
Dronado FPV. Wow, must be nice to be able. No, this is what I used to have. Dronado. This was like 13 years ago. That's when I used to have money.
I got to tell you there, Andrew, what they have hanging off the back of the Pornhub van, it's a set of balls of the size of a fucking Volkswagen. Oh, man.
Jesus.
Well, thanks for letting me talk about my movie. I'm just
no.
We were laughing so hard.
Oh my God Almighty! I'm so happy for you.
Oh, Douglas, I got to show you this, man.
All right, I gotta go talk to the wife.
Okay.
I love you guys. I'm sure I'll see you again.
Yes. Well, you let me know. We'll hand it over to you.
Yeah. Okay. See, I loved everyone in the chat. Love you guys. Remember, it's Veterans Day in America Monday.
Yep.
Just so you know, a reminder. All right. See you. Thanks for your service, Ben. Douglas, thanks. I love you, Douglas. Cookie.
Oh my God Almighty! That was funny. I got tears in my eyes. Oh, poor Dave. He's so funny. and I just pictured the van they were talking about.
He's like the ice cream man that you're afraid to ask for.
Yeah. Like Hubert from Family Guy, the creepy one in the block.
Instead of the kids running to the ice cream man, they're running away.
Oh. Bill Cosby ice cream truck.
Exactly, playing the theme song from the Cosby Show. Kids are running away.
That was another product I tried to help Douglas with for his Zazzle page. Was the have a collaboration with Bill Cosby and NyQuil to make a new kind of.
Oh God! Oh no!
Pops.
Yikes!
I just try to help people. That's all I'm here for, is brainstorming. You know, you choose to run with it, I'm not going to stop you. I'll cheer you on.
No, for a beautiful anniversary, this is what you want to do for your wife, okay? You go over to Walmart and you buy the biggest bra that's available. And you go ahead and you deliver yourself to your wife one night and say, honey, happy anniversary. And I've got a pearl for you. And all you got to do is take a bra this size and you put your head in it and you say, here's your pearl.
Well, I got my thumbnail I was waiting for.
Sometimes it works.
I understand, City Girl. I understand completely. And Phil Dogg's Vlogs was asking, how's your day? Have something push with in the midst of you having the bra across your face. Budget Doug Torson Survival says hi to everybody. How you doing? I love the video showed where you went to pick that thing up. That was crazy.
Oh man.
Oh, Dave, you're welcome to anytime. I know I don't do a ton of panels, but anytime, you always got an open invitation. I know everybody and their mother has checked out Greenbay Wacky, but if there's some small chance you haven't, yeah, he's right there. Definitely got to support him. And it's true, like he put everything into that movie, and it can come back. Preschool stuff doesn't date itself. You can still sell it online, you know, all these things, the Boulder Buddies, stuff like that. So I'm hoping you really Johnny Cook Jr. says, oh my,
I'll be right back.
All right, Doug.
I'm really surprised. I was really happy Doug showed up tonight. I was able to come on tonight. That was cool.
I mean, I've never seen you so happy in your life. It's like you won the damn $1.6 billion lottery when he came up on the panel.
Now it's going to be like you say with Green Bay with me. It's
I come up on the panel. It's like, oh, yeah, okay.
No.
You again.
Oh, damn it. All right, well, I think we'll go a couple more minutes. What do you think? Of another 15, we'll shut her down.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
It's that was nice tonight. I really appreciate that with you and Mama Rock and that. I thought that was so amazing. You guys sharing your experiences and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that was really, really nice.
We're the ones that can talk about it, you know.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it has to be said, you know, it really does. It is so important.
Oh yeah.
Because they're not getting it anywhere else today. It's frowned upon to talk about it, basically. You know.
Yeah, I'm proud to talk about my service record, and if it were back in the day when I was serving, you know, I'd always recommend that to, you know, a kid that's 18 years old. I'd recommend, hey, join the service. But today, I'm sorry, but as a vet, I've got to say it. I would never recommend anyone joining the service today. No way.
It's too bad, but it's the reality of it, like you say, you know.
Yeah.
It's you're more of a tool than anything else, you know, not I don't know. It's just too bad. It is sad. Doug, actually, I was going to show you this. Oh, thank you so much, Simply Shannon. You're awesome, actually, but thank you. I was showing them tonight. This is from Xenia's mom had bought this in Latvia. This is from a Soviet soldier.
Oh, wow.
Gave it to my oldest son, and that's all. That's what he participated in the Soviet army. It's all of his pins. That running one meant that he participated in it's like the Soviet equivalent to the Olympics they had, because they didn't participate during it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I never took it out. This is the first time I've ever brought it to show anybody. But yeah.
You know, I'm looking at that eagle. That almost looks like the Polish eagle.
It might have been because they were all under Soviet regime at the time, so he probably spent time over there. That's why.
Yeah. Wow.
I haven't looked up the history of each one of them. At some point, I'd like to.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I thought it was nice because, like, she didn't speak any English, and he's my son from my first marriage, and she didn't know what to get him. Like she said, "What do you get a 14-year? I think it was 14 at the time. Year old boy. There's no use to get him video games because he'll get them here cheaper and." You know, different things. And then she happened to go into this store and they were selling stuff like that, like all kinds of memorabilia. So,
right.
One time when Xenia and I were traveling, our first trip together we ever did was go to Estonia and then Helsinki, Finland by ferry. And of course, it gets dark. That's around Christmas time. And everything gets dark by 3 in the afternoon. It's pitch black dark. And even at 9 in the morning, it's just getting dawn. And we were waiting for the ferry to come back. We found this ship. It was red and white. It was the creepiest thing I ever seen in my life. Nobody was running this thing. And there was a door to go in. And it said something about museum in Finnish. And we walked in. And there was 3 old people. I mean drunk. Not little drunk. I mean wrecked. No admission to get in. Nobody telling you where to go. Nowhere to go. And you walk right to the whole bow of the ship. Ended up it was a World War II supply ship. And it was full of memorabilia, everything anything you could think of was in there. And they kept trying to give me some version of like it wasn't a marshmallow square, it was some mushy thing in chocolate. They kept trying to put it in my face like Douglas does with cookies. And he was like trying to sell it to. I never thought of that till now. And yeah, they couldn't speak a word of English. They didn't know what they were doing there. They were just drinking. They passed out, I guess was the goal. An hour walking to the ship, no clue if we were supposed to be there or not, if it was open or closed. Never.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, we used to end up all the time. Like we would travel. When I did train, I did 12 countries in 15 days. I started in Brussels, Belgium. I went right away to Luxembourg. That evening, I took the fastest train in Europe. We were doing 326 kilometers an hour. From Metz, France to Paris, stayed outside overnight for 24 hours in a hotel, jumped on a plane, went all the way to Poland. And from there, I took train and sleep every night and get off in a new city every day and went all the way to Croatia and then come back all up through Switzerland and everywhere.
Wow.
And yeah, I got off one morning in Bratislava, Slovakia at 4 in the morning. The bars don't close till 6. So I got to have last round and yeah, just in the middle of nowhere and kind of figure your way around. And I actually, there's a bar in Latvia it's a World War II bomb shelter. And you go down about 90 feet and it's a semicircle and it's all done in brick and it's narrow and long. and it was a bomb shelter, and they ended up turning it into a bar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. I loved it. Like everybody else is enjoying their drinks, and I'm just looking around thinking, this is phenomenal, you know?
Exactly. Do they have any paraphernalia from that time up on the walls, or?
They do not like talking about it because Soviet time was such a blemish on them because they were being occupied. Even with friends, because I would be putting up pictures, you know, this Soviet, and they'd be like, can you stop talking about the Soviet stuff for 5 minutes? And it's just like, but this is exciting to me because I wasn't supposed to ever see this place. When I was growing up, that was my conflict. This was the land that nobody should ever touch. And not only to touch, but have a wife from there and be there, I thought was always so amazing. But yeah, they understood once I explained to them, but they were really, some of them were quite offended at first that I showed so many pictures on Facebook and stuff and not more about the city itself.
Oh, wow.
So, which I understand, when somebody occupies your country, you know, it's pretty hard to have a love affair with it when it's gone. But to me, that's my history. That's my conflict. I was too young for Vietnam and stuff like that. So I remember that. And when I was in Belfast in Ireland, that was the only two places that I've been to where I actually remember what happened. So.
Isn't that something? I do have to ask you a question though.
Sure.
Now, what do have you had the chance to talk to any other veterans here on YouTube? I mean, besides myself, I mean.
Some, you know, like lightly through. I wish I would like to. I'd like to some night have a panel more, and that's what I'm kind of thinking again tonight. I had this idea a couple of months ago to gather some together from different places, hopefully that don't know each other, not all from the same group, and kind of bring them all together. And I would like to get a few Canadian ones on and maybe from another country and kind of really just kind of everybody sharing their stories about it.
Oh, okay. I got to say something, budget, outdoors, and survival. He said, Cab 7, no one knows this, but I have a bra like that I always pack in my bag. Haha. It's good for a hammock or pick watermelons. I just want to say, budget, don't give away my damn secrets. Damn.
See, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of all these stories now. And what do you think of his bra, Doug?
Yeah, people ask me, you're a guy. Why the hell do you have that damn thing?
It's Cab 7. It's Ben. What else?
Exactly.
Does that have to be asked?
You know, there was this group I wanted to belong a part of. It's called the Green Cup Club over in the bushcrafting community. And so you had to, and it's a Stanley Cup thermos with 2 cups in it, 2 green cups. So to be a part of that, you had to do a little video on that. So I, of course, watched everyone else's videos and go, okay, interesting. Everything's so serious. So, of course, I went out of my way. To become a part of that, my video was, and I've got it up on my channel. I took that bra. That bra's been through hell, man. But I took that bra and I said, this is the real way when you're out in the wilderness and all you've got is a bra and you don't have no filter of any sort. Go ahead and strain your coffee beans through this. And so that's what I did. I took my green cup and it's sitting at the bottom. I had the bra up here. I poured the water on and it came out. It percolated just fine, man. And they said, yep, you can now become a member of the Green Cup Club. So I'm looking down underneath, making sure I'm getting every last drop of that through that.
Did you have to put one cup in the other, or was it stronger just with one?
Just a 1 cup, man.
That's kind of a decaf. If you use both, they're pretty thick.
This I don't know if you can see the beauty of this. It is extremely thick.
Yeah,
it is, and I still have the receipt when I went over to Walmart. Now, when I went up to the register, I was scared like shit. It was like, this thing's gonna cost me $30, but it's worth it. So I get up there, she rings it up, and guess how much this bra cost me? I still have the receipt. Now look at that. That's a lot of material there. How much do you think I paid for this bra at Walmart?
Too much.
I think I'm going to do this the rest of the night.
That's a good look.
Listen, $2.
$1 a cup.
Yep, that's it. And this is the wire. It's got the wire at the top. Look at that. $2. I damn near shit my pants right there at the register. It's like, are you sure? And they said, yep, it was on sale for $2.
They were glad to get rid of it. It was taking up too much floor space.
Man, there was more than one of these bad boys up there.
That'd be handy on a farm. You got to move something to make a good tarp.
That's right.
Well,
You want to hide behind
it? Add anything to this, Doug, at this point?
I actually wanted to do that because I do have a real hammock, but people wanted me to test this thing out between two trees and see if that would actually hold my 230 pounds. It's like, you never know. A Cab 7 video might be coming out this spring.
Well, Simply Shannon said it would keep your ears warm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you had some bungee cords, would that thing make a good slingshot?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd so set it up for a sling.
Don't I kind of look like that beast? Don't I kind of look like that beast with what's his name? The big bodybuilder. What was the name of that movie with I can't think of his name. The big bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember that beast that disappeared in the woods? He had that. Oh yeah, I can't think of the name of that damn movie.
That's good. that's fine. Kind of like got the. I look like the Fly, actually.
Yeah, it looks like a fly.
I agree with Doug. A slingshot would be amazing.
That would hurt like a son of a bitch.
You don't have to stand in front of it, but can you imagine two, like what do you call it, two melons in it there? Just fire those puppies off.
Take a baseball, put it in there, and use it as a slingshot, and it'd go over to the next town.
That would be a video. That could be a.
Oh man,
Incoming.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if I go that far, I could stand out in my backyard with one of them suckers and send some cookies. There it comes.
Yeah.
I can stand here in Montreal with a ball glove and catch them.
Predator. That's exactly right. Predator.
There you go.
That was the name of the movie.
I had checked out once you had them across your face. I couldn't bring it. I couldn't even answer what my own name was at that point. So. You looked good though, Ben.
I appreciate that.
Very impressive. Oh man.
I use this in a creek. I got another video, and I can't remember the name. The something tuna, and that was my goal, was to catch this tuna down at the creek over here. So a couple summers ago, I got out there. And it's a stupid ass dumb video. I'm doing jumping jacks out there and swimming in this creek, and the water's only about that deep. And I catch this thing. I catch it with a fishing pole down the creek, and I'm reeling that damn thing, and I'm fighting it and all that. And people are expecting me to be reeling in a big old fish, and it's this bra. And man, I try to kill it with a rock because it's still flapping around and all that. So I take a rock out of the creek and I smash it, kill it. So stupid. Wow.
But you owned it, so.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Something else you and Doug have in common both too is your love for Betty White. You both find her very attractive.
Whoa. I don't know how Doug looks at her, but I look at her the way I like to look at her. Oh yeah. You know, ever since she jumped in that mud puddle with the football player, you know, remember that football, I think it was halftime, they played that for a candy bar, something Babe Ruth or whatever it was. It's like when I saw her covered with mud, it's like, baby, you're coming home with me. You're coming home with me.
She's
just one tough broad.
Oh yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Tough to look at. Anyways.
The last of the Golden Girls.
Well, I think on that note, I think we've covered all subjects with everybody. Oh, God, I want to thank everybody for hanging around. This has been absolutely awesome. It's been a long time since we did a panel. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Also to Mama Rock and Dave. This was so incredible. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you everybody for staying up for this. Please hit the like button if you're new here, and there's other stuff goes on besides this, I promise. But this was absolutely phenomenal. It won't be all broad in the head.
No.
Well, maybe sometimes. Not completely out of the.
You never know what you're going to get from Cab 7.
I know. I love you, buddy. It's so great to spend time on here. First time, both of you, first time on our channel. So
I'm more excited for you because, Douglas Fairchild, Doug, man, in private hangouts, he brags about you. He needs you. You're like a dose of medication that he needs, man. I mean, he brags the hell about you. He really does. So I'm glad to see him.
Put that son of a bitch in himself again. Get ready. No.
Well, I think the world of both of you. So I'm happy to have both of you on. This was a double whammy for me. So thank you guys so much. If you, like I say, if you can hit the like button on the way out, we'll be on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Channel shoutouts, echoes, wheel spinning, and all that kinds of craziness too. So yes, it doesn't stop, just different forms. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Don't forget to check out Douglas Fairchild and my good buddy as well, Cab 7. And we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.